They do need some help for Cloak. They do tend to go to Cloak all the time. It means maybe Fletcher can't zone off as much and go to Cloak. They've got to be aware of both those forwards now.
Also means the opposition have great intel, don't they?
Yeah, that's right.
So a sodden MCG, but the crowd roar as one. What a challenge for Brodie Grundy in just his second game of AFL footy. The umpire wasn't waiting for anyone. I don't think players are actually ready. As it started with a bit of a throw up there, Bagley takes it over the line and out of bounds.
And an early matchup too, Hutto. McCaffrey looks like he's going with Heppel. So that's something that looks like Bucks has identified that matchup, and McCaffrey now going back into that midfield tagging role on Heppel has become a super important player for them.
Interested in all you superstars selections too this afternoon. It's a really tough one to call this.
Yeah.
Without any great confidence, I went for the Bombers.
Yeah, and I went without any great confidence with Collingwood. So
early matchups down back for the Bombers. Carlisle's gone to Cloak, and Hooker goes to Reid.
Yeah.
And the crowd are going to be involved. They're going to be vocal, and you'd expect nothing less.
And this is just the interesting way they play, just that short kick. But there's the long one, I think, that both Hurdy and Bucks would have addressed pre-game. Get it in quick, get it in long in these conditions.
Stanton did just that, and it was Goddard emerged. Dempsey's intruding into the forward line, which is interesting. I guess everyone's going to be everywhere today. Zaharakis, they'll have to keep a close eye on him with his record against the Pies. He goes again. It's going to be hard yards to get clean possession. Marley Williams has been a find for them this year. The Bombers have got it roped off. Carlisle back. He probably is more comfortable habitat in defence. Hooker, a high ball. Bit of a wrestle. The pressure was on, and that is an outstanding effort from Gambleton. No mark, though.
He probably could have got a free kick there. It looked like one over the shoulder and an arm round him. If we look at it here, he's got the arm over the shoulder and the arm round. I don't know how umpires missed those, but it certainly should have been a free kick.
Nathan Brown was the man doing the harassment. Free kick, which way? Essendon, I suspect.
Yeah, gone to Heppel. Yeah. And this is where McCaffrey's got to be a little bit careful. You want to be close, but in these conditions, you don't want to be giving away silly free kicks.
It's probably not a bad matchup for Heppel, is he, McCaffrey?
Yeah, he's a good match tag. Yeah, here it is here. Just held on too long and then fell into his back.
These are the opportunities you have to make the most of in these conditions.
8 goals, 10 for the season. Favours his left foot. He's worked it out pretty well. It's line ball.
He didn't kick it far enough.
He didn't. That is astonishing, isn't it?
He steered it. He was worried about the angle, and he completely forgot about following through.
He got the angle perfect just about, didn't he? Here's a closer look from our third eye.
So it looks like Hocking's going to Pendlebury, and maybe Swan and Watson going head-to-head.
Yeah. Brown measures up that pass on a dry day. That would have been fine, but in these given conditions, it's tough. O'Brien and McCaffrey contrive to get them through the middle, almost to centre-half forward. So Cloak coming right up the ground to help out. O'Brien again. The pickup was okay, but a bit treacherous through the middle, as you would expect. Again, Lynch back in the team. Started the year so well in the first 4 or 5 weeks. And really, it was after 22 disposals on Anzac Day that things started to go downhill for him. He's had a rest with some injury. He's back in amongst it. Free kick to Elliott, their second highest goal kicker this year with 23.
And just on that kick before, Hunter, that's the kick that they wouldn't have done under Mick Malthouse, the one that goes through the corridor. So that would have gone out wide. They have changed their game style. They've just got to be a little bit careful and not overuse in these wet conditions.
Beams fresh from 37 last week. Cloak loomed large there. Carlisle. From Buddy to Cloak. Doesn't get any easier, does it?
No, it's a good matchup. I mean, Cloak's an important player. Carlisle's form dropped off, but he's certainly been a terrific player throughout the early part of the season.
Kept to the just 2 goals back at Anzac Day. A 46-point win on that occasion for the Bombers. And that one doesn't worry the scorers from Scotty Pendlebury. So it's Essendon 1 and Collingwood yet to score.
Days like today, you're not going to see too many switches out of the back pocket, Jace, there. It's just a long kick down the line.
Sidebottom, who kicked 3 goals last week. Goldsack back in the team and perhaps showing his worth there. Good hard nut to have. Versatile, like O'Brien on the fly. Off the left, maybe 1 step too far as he tried to balance. Hooker had a few pies to contend with. They've been a great combination down deep this year. Hibbard gets it back from Stanton. Collects the footy and his thoughts. Sets a bit of a task on the wing. Hooker kept on coming. And now side bottom. They work it through again. Pendlebury had no one to really come up with the ball.
It was great play by Maxwell and to leave his man too to cover across for that kick. And Pendlebury unusual to waste the footy like he did then.
Watson, we won't have to work out too hard for when he goes near the footy this afternoon. Goddard, they're going difficult again. Great tackle, Keith. He did well too to withdraw, so he didn't get a free against him. Cloak, an interesting approach to the tackle then from Travis Cloak. Lynch. Bullet straight ahead staff. Back to O'Brien and Ryder. Maxwell handled it well. Brown. You don't want to give too much ground up in these conditions, though. Luke Ball was thinking just that. He decided not to go back to side bottom, instead along the line of kick.
Yeah, a couple of critical possessions already for Maxwell. He's read the play really well from that kick and handled the ball nice and cleanly.
So Keith's inclusion over the last couple of weeks, allowing Reid to start forward.
Just saw Joe Watson unable to get the ball before it went over the boundary line, but if there were any queries about his shoulder, his collarbone, he got tested out with a couple of crunching tackles in the middle of the ground very early on, stood up particularly well.
Yeah, now it's Ball versus Watson, that stoppage. Both really tough, hard inside. There's Watson there getting the kick away.
He did, he won it cleanly, got it down in Ryder's direction. Side bottom was clinging on for a moment. Ryder gets down and dirty. Now where's the footy in amongst that? Somewhere. So no score on the board at this stage in terms of goals, just the one behind to Essendon. Over the shoulder. Advantage taken swiftly by Ball, and they're into the 50. Equal numbers. Oh, Hardingham with the spring. Oh, Elliott to his own advantage. Does he pick it up? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. He tried. He still might goal anyway. That's a fine effort. A fine effort. And Collingwood had the first at the 6.5-minute mark of the opening term, and it comes off the left boot of Jamie Elliott.
And I reckon what we did see here was one of the dying skills in AFL football, and that's the shepherd. We don't see it much. Most times players peel off. He fumbled the ball, but you can just see the work off the ball to push the nearest player, which was Bagley, away from him and gave him a chance to get back onto it. A great shepherd there from Blair. Really good work off the ball.
He created that goal, Jace. Really good call. There's no way known that he would have kicked that goal had not Blair shepherded. He fumbled it, and that nearly cost him a goal, but a great follow-up from Blair to knock his opponent off the ball.
Mentioned earlier, he's their second leading goal kicker for the year, behind Travis Cloak on 48. That's his 24th goal. Ball, nice little manoeuvre to get it out of there. Dwyer's been good, but he's caught in the crush this time. Beams. Here's Grundy with the follow-up. Turned around the footy, did pretty well. Got it moving, but runs into Hibbert. And now Myers, with his considerable frame, to Zaharakis, the danger man, and they're off. Stanton gets forward of the play, kicks up towards the hard-leading Collier, who's impressed with his zip and run in recent weeks. The kick has some penetration. Commer's at the back of all this. It doesn't quite get through. Delolio, I suspect he'll be trying to keep Heath Shaw occupied. The ball's out of bounds.
Brucey, I think that last line defender's critical today. To keep a goalkeeper back, that ball will skid through. There will be opportunities at ground level. You need to hold a small defender in the goal square or goal side.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Fletcher, just keep an eye on Fletcher, King, because I'm really surprised he's getting dragged up the ground by Lynch and Grundy, because he's the one that should be staying right back in defensive 50, but at the moment he's not.
Hibbert missed the moment, but we're going to see a lot of that today. And that too, as the numbers multiply.
And I think, Jace, you'll also see probably Maxwell's the one that's going to zone off. He's done that really well a couple of times, or maybe a Heath Shaw.
Dempsey's just on top of the 50 if that ball happened to go Essendon's way. Instead, it goes to Swan. He just grubs the ball up to the wing, unintentionally, of course. Grundy was committed, and Blair reaped the rewards, and they are at the back with Reid. And he'll take his time now.
You just mentioned Fletcher getting drawn up the ground. He's so good at sleeping. We see a chip off here. That's really poor marking.
To O'Brien, and Collingwood have the first two at the G. And Harry O'Brien, exuberant, celebrates the goal.
Well, watch Courtney Dempsey next to Harry O'Brien, and he actually turned into, they've got it, what spot will I occupy and take up in the defensive 50 in case this is a hack kick at goal. And he took his eyes completely off Harry O'Brien, who just ran into place. See, there he is. He's getting chased by somebody else. But
there's three Essendon players there.
Dempsey's already peeled off and looked to the top of the 50. You've got to play the game you talk about moments. You let one moment pass and league footballers will just capitalise on it.
And there's the chain there. I think the guy in the middle of that chain was Blair again. He got the little knock on and kick over the top to Reid. So really effective early part of the game for Blair.
Heppel's footy out of the middle for the Bombers. Need to strike back. Big fella's been a big goal kicker for them, Bellchambers, in recent weeks. Second on the goal kicking list. Scooped up nicely by Myers. Sinclair, who's found a place deep in defence for Collingwood. Back to the wing. Heppel. He'll thrive on these conditions. He's got McCaffrey in tow for today, though. That could have been in the back on Hocking. The umpire lets them play, and play they try and do, but it's difficult. Hibbert tried to steal the march, but couldn't. Ball, another who you'd think would enjoy the terrain today.
I think the question's been answered with Tess Watson now. We saw Maxwell just run into Watson before, and then Brown ran up to him after he picked himself up, Watson, and hit him behind the ball on the shoulder.
Heppel averaging 25 disposals so far this year. There's Myers around the corner. Collingwood outnumber them by 1. O'Brien decided to try and impact the contest. Keith gets slung by some vigorous work from Bellchambers.
He's angry, Bellchambers.
Yeah, he's been pushing and shoving a lot.
Yeah, keeping an eye on him. He's swinging it around at the moment.
He's really working Nathan Brown over there a moment ago.
Oh, and you could see go through his mind, knowing what that type of attitude is like. He wants to take someone down here.
Well, I think he might have seen Brown go after Watson, and I think that may be why he's a little bit disappointed and, and responded accordingly.
I'd be surprised if Watson gets through the entire game here, because it's wet, it's going to be tight, there's going to be a lot of poundage in the physical stakes of blokes close in, hammering into each other.
He's having a stint forward now, Dermot, operating out of the goal square. Heath Shaw picking him up.
Collingwood have got a spare inside the 50. That's Harry O'Brien. So he could come into play very, very shortly. Nelson really made the running, though, and kicks it deep. Shaw.
Slow to react to that, Joe. Slow to react to that.
And this is O'Brien now. He just wants to play on. That's his mantra. It's not a great kick, though. Fletcher. Now Hibbert's powerful left. He got onto it. Nice little sidestep to balance himself, but we wouldn't know by the result.
Heavy.
Geez, the Harry O'Brien kick was an interesting one, wasn't it? I think you call it's not a great kick, Hutto. That might have been an understatement.
He tried to be nice earlier, is he?
He thought Maxwell was leading up at him. He was actually coming in to try and shepherd and make space for him.
Plenty of time to go whackety-whack later. Kick up to half-back. Lynch flies.
Good jump.
Ryder.
Looks like Melksham was trying to follow Swan around, but Melksham came to the bench and Swan's still out there for the moment. So
you'll find it hard to identify Dane Swan's opponent, Dermot, at different stages. He's just out there getting the pill.
Well, Swan's gone to full forward and Hockey's come back on him. Now he's flipping with Fletcher. So clearly
he started on the Pendlebury Hog.
There's a fumble from Pendlebury in the greasy conditions. Stanton back to Watson. Hemmed in on the left, so kicks on the right as he'd prefer anyway. And Sidebottom read the situation very well. There's no easy kick out of here for him. I think you'd have to go for territories. He's beckoning Ben Reid to come up at the ball. That's very smart play by both.
These games, these days, they turn into attitude games. It really is attitude. It's more about the desire you bring to the contest.
It was a good kick from Reid, but well done too from Heppel to fight back.
That's a tough one for Heppel. I mean, he was the one player who stood up last week in the midfield for Essendon, and he's earned himself a hard press tagger in McCaffrey for it.
He's had to get used to it really in the last couple of weeks. It's in Watson's absence. And here is Jobe over the footy. Pendlebury again. There's those swift hands. Shaw to the voice, perhaps of Lynch. Didn't quite hit the mark. But he goes again. Conservative in the decision there, deciding not to pay deliberate, as they were begging for. So what's your read on it, Roosie, at this stage? I mean, obviously Collingwood in front. Are they doing more than Essendon in your mind? Yeah, a little bit at the moment. I mean, not too much. It's obviously 2 goals, still only 2 scorers, cost to 1. But I just am a bit surprised that Essendon are holding an anchor like Kingy suggested, because the number of times that Collingwood go forward, they've got a pretty open forward line at the moment, whereas Harry O'Brien's off the back of this contest and Maxwell's been zoning off as well. So slightly different tactics for both teams. Sinclair to Williams. They can crank it up again. It's a big thumping kick. Cloak has a look behind. He's earned himself the free against Carlisle.
Joe Carlisle's trying to kid them, thinking he got shepherded out of the contest. He went a mile too early. Dane Swan's out of the square. They decide not to go long, and it makes sense because Fletcher is in front of him.
That kick, to me,
doesn't help.
It really says, hey, Essendon, here's a bonus. I'll give you an extra 10 seconds to get players back.
Well, maybe allow Cloak to get deep. And that's about all it achieved as they get it through for a behind.
I think you're right, Dermy. On a wet day, it doesn't. On a dry day, you tend to want to just maybe slide it around the arc until you can get a hit inside 50. But on a wet day, you probably just need to go for distance to the dangerous area, top of the square.
Fletcher has the ball at fullback.
Well, that's got a hit.
Myers, just the up and under.
He'll stand under it.
It's a weight, but it doesn't worry him one iota. Luke Ball. Oh, he tries to thread the needle there. Look at Beams. Gee, they missed him when he was out. He's made a big impact in 3 weeks. Helps players like Steele Sidebottom as well. Good at work. Diligent stuff from Dempsey. It's out of bounds.
I reckon one thing we've seen very early on, pinpoint passes aren't the go.
No.
You've got to play percentage wet weather footy. Get it going in your direction, try and kick it deep forward, and then just try and keep the ball there.
Yep.
McCaffer squeezed it out. Dwyer, big stage for him, thriving on it. Sinclair tries to hit off the left. It was a tough ask. Reid did really well at ground level. Elliott bubbling around everywhere. Oh, Swan crunched. But look at Goldsat. He's a difficult man to contain. Sinclair misses ball. Opportunity perhaps. Sinclair first to recover though. Beat them to the punch and what a kick! Well, there's a bit of luck involved today, isn't there?
I'll tell you what.
There's a bit of
there are a few Essendon players looking at each other, Hocking and Harding and having a go, hands up, going, why aren't you picking him up? And he's going, well, I'm picking this bloke up over here. There were 2 Collingwood players there loose, and about 3 Essendon defenders had peeled off, thinking they were going to win the ball in the middle of the ground.
I don't know about you, Jace, you the goal kicker, but sometimes on wet days, skimming the ball off the boot, hated them directly in front, which should be a soda. It's not bothered him, though.
Not at all. It's his 11th goal of the season, Jared Blair. And Collingwood have got all the answers at the moment. 3 goals, 119. Essendon just the one behind.
Well, I'm reading it that Collingwood actually have come for the contest physically a little bit more. We see Blair on the bottom of the screen there. The hack kick forward now. He hasn't been manned up. He's had a mixture of opponents. I think Bagley was meant to have him at that stage. But really, when you talk about the physical contest, right now, 31 contested possessions to Collingwood, 18 to Essendon, and Bucks in the interview before the game was very strong about a physical presence.
Kingy, opening quarters for Collingwood haven't been great this year.
Been a real issue the last 5 weeks, as you can see there, Anthony. Real problems against Adelaide Crows, minus 25 points. But this is a fantastic start, getting the game played the way they like it, in tough.
And they're bursting out of the middle. They are winning around the contest at the moment, reaping the rewards. It's in there again. Dempsey, tough to stand up. Slapped it to the voice of Collier, but here's Dwyer. Their numbers, they're multiplying. Dane Swan, bit of a mare there. Had to get it off to Elliott. They'll try and reload. Dwyer to Cloak. So there's no tall target deep for him, but he had a chance to launch it, and it's Swan. And from the side, oh, Luke Ball, unlikely player
Early
to
jump.
take a mark.
Early jump, and he gets over the left knee. He gets over the top of the left knee of Goddard, which grounds him.
He won't like that when he sees the replay, Brendan.
I was just going to say, if you threw the ball to Brendan Goddard versus Luke Ball in the air 10 times, I reckon 8 to 9. 8 to 9 to Goddard. So, yeah.
But it was an early jump, and he really did ground it.
Yeah, it was smart play by Ball.
Yes. He's made an outstanding start to this game. Already 8 disposals, and now he hits the scoreboard with a goal. And Collingwood, what a start. They've kicked 4 goals, 1. Essendon just 1 behind. 7 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. As we go back to this opening bounce, let's have a look at Watson. Old mates.
He was just touching the shoulder saying, is that where it's sore, mate? Just about there? That's very funny. But he didn't do anything. That was just getting in his head. It was a very funny exchange.
Back down to you, Kingy. You talked pre-match about Essendon and their style and the beautiful game.
Well, they like to share the ball. They like to use the ball short, kick the ball short, overlap with some marking situations. They've only taken 3 marks so far today. They haven't been able to get their short-kicking game going because, 1, of the conditions, and 2, the pressure of Collingwood.
I feel the blokes could go in and change the long stops at quarter time too, I'd suggest.
And Grundy doing okay too in game 2. Melcham needs to change the trend and change it quickly. Even when they've got the ball, they're going backwards at the moment. Bagley, Blair sliding on in. The contested possession count at the moment is 34 to 19.
I think that's the key, Harley. They just haven't been able to get on the ball.
Well, there's a great sign of pressure there. Jake Melcham first tried to kick it out of mid-air and then just punched it when he could have taken possession both times.
Good. And they've had 4 more tackles, even though they've been winning around the contest. And it creates opportunities like this. Grundy inside, Dwyer outside. Ernest in the efforts again. O'Brien conquers one, comes through, and that one doesn't quite come back.
It's just their inability to get hold of football. 81 possessions to 45, so they really are. Marks 13-3, but contested possession 35-20. So a lot of concerns in there for the Essendon coaching box, but they have started off games slowly this year.
Fletcher, Bell Chambers is a big target. Just slightly mistimed and misjudged his leap. It's on Collingwood's terms again through Sinclair, just sliding it along the line to Beams.
Gee, their work rate's been good. More numbers around the footy, the pies at every exchange. Dermot, you spoke about footwear before. The amount of time they spend out in the ground in the warm-up, if they can't get it right then, there's something wrong with these players.
As I said, I walked across the ground, and I think it's the heaviest I've felt the MCG underfoot for the year. And what about the deluge we got after that during the warm-up?
If they haven't got stops on, there's something seriously wrong.
Goddard, Zaharakis, Dempsey. Doesn't get any better for them though. Goldstein.
He's done a hamstring, I think. Dempsey or something.
Oh, and he's got a history too.
He's holding the left hammy.
This day has started in appalling fashion for the Bombers, and it ain't getting any better just at the moment. Collier scoops it up.
Great pickup.
Hemmed in by Blair, round the corner, but the wall is there for the Pies. O'Brien deep. Bagley went to the front. Elliott was trying to get it out the back door. Dwyer.
He's cooked, Dempsey. He can't even get off. He's walking off. He knows if he runs, he'll probably fall flat in his face.
So they're a man down at the moment, and again that's telling because O'Brien's out there. He's got the wing to himself. Escapes Gambleton, gives it plenty. It's wobbly. It's hard for the forwards and the defenders alike, but Hooker contained the damage.
What a shame.
Really good hands.
What a shame for Dempsey. I mean, he's had a wretched run with injuries, and he knows he's cooked. That'll probably see out his season the way he's just conceded here now.
He's had a season-ending knee injury, of course, previously, as well as hamstrings. Now, up to half forward, Williams, and nothing behind him, but he certainly had something in front of him, and that was Heath Shaw. Could have switched to side bottom.
I don't know why he didn't.
No,
and Steele side bottom was upset with him, and
he
just apologised.
Got a half back. James Surd mentioned that last week, despite having 24 disposals, that Brendan Goddard wasn't very pleased with his game.
They'd kill right now just for a goal to settle themselves down, Essendon, just to get themselves into the game.
Every one of these ground balls going into their forward 50 has been met with a Collingwood player, so they just haven't been able to work back into their forward 50. The Collingwood half forwards and smalls to get to the feet of their talls.
Hooker.
Called play on. Players haven't heard it.
That's all right. As it went short to Melksham. Gambleton, and
once again,
Bustle.
There's Shaw and there's side bottom Derm.
Just sweeping out the back.
Yeah, just they're beating their opponents back inside the forward 50, so they're not getting any crummers.
It's an issue, the crumbing factor for Essendon's forward line.
But that's what happens in the wet. More crumbs over the back than forward.
Interesting too, Pendlebury and Swan, just 4 disposals each. There you go, now it's 5. Because they share it around. He only just got that one out to him. Let's just count. Here's another for Pendlebury. That's 6 on.
He might get it again.
Gee, they've been good, haven't they? 7 and 6. Well, it can change quickly. Cloak.
I must say, you don't want to be leading to that type of kick, though, if you're a forward.
Another one for Pendlebury.
Here's Pendlebury 7th.
They just had 6 possessions between them in the space of 30 seconds.
I'm glad I got the stand out before they did it. Dwyer.
I was just about to say, Dwyer's handling of the ball has been very good.
His 6th disposal.
That's a good kick.
Oh, this right position. Position.
But no support.
Exactly right.
I think it's Bell Chambers. If you look 10 metres in front of that contest, he had his hands on his knees, no support. Whereas at the other end, there's a lot of support when the ball goes in the air.
All he did, Dwyer, was kick it to the hole in front of the contest, saying, "I'll back my bloke to be stronger."
You know,
and no Essendon player left his man. That's a sign of a team under pressure.
He lob wedged it to where Cloak was best chance to mark it.
Oh, he just sneaks it in. Travis Cloak becomes...
Carlisle's put one into the guts of Blair.
Oh, it is on.
Now, he's gone silly here, Carlisle. The umpire's there. Now, if they reported him last week after the event on Franklin, I reckon this is worse. He's punched him in the stomach, then grabbed him high around the lapel and thrown him to the ground. He'd lost it. I cannot understand why the umpire, looking at it from a metre away, if the umpire's got it wrong last week, not awarding a free kick for that behind elbow into the back. Now watch it, atop there. Watch him, punch to the stomach. The umpire's right there and grabs him through the lapel and throws him to the ground.
How is that not a free kick?
I was going to say,
That's a
we've seen
free kick.
umpires give free kicks for less than that.
If you brush someone's hair, it's a free kick against you, but apparently you can get away with that.
He had a pretty good run there.
Yeah.
Williams to O'Brien. What a corner from the Pies. They've carved up the Bombers.
See, Harry O'Brien's been outstanding this quarter. He's had ninth disposal.
Yeah, 9, and it goes out to the wing. Stanton busting a gut to try and rein it in.
And no one's got near O'Brien. He's virtually playing on his own as he pleases.
He's actually just positioned behind the play. Here he goes back now there, Jace.
At one stage, I saw him start on a wing on Goddard.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just playing loose. He just bends down at pace to pick it up and it goes.
It just goes, yeah.
Get back to David King in a moment as the Bombers start to build. They need something desperately late here. Coma, Zaharakis. We've seen him in this position before on big days against Collingwood. Different ending now. Back down to you, Kingy.
Well, they haven't activated the substitute yet, which is Leroy Jetta, but obviously he's done a hamstring. We won't see him again. He's just taking the vest off now, so you can see Jetta there about to enter the arena. But it's a massive out because the halfback flank position is not Leroy Jetta's place in this team, so it does change their configuration.
King, have you seen Collingwood play as well as this season? I mean, we've said that they're inconsistent, but this has to be better than anything they've produced so far, doesn't it?
Well, we call them the erratic pack because that's exactly how they are. Through the pre-season period was probably the best they've looked in quite some time. Everyone was flying, everyone was in form, they were fit. It just hasn't worked for them consistently throughout the season, but they've had 10-minute windows where they've been able to do this, but this is probably the best they've been.
Cloak and Ryder were just going at it behind play. I'll tell you what else has happened. Collingwood are in the heads of the Essendon players. They're giving it to them physically and they're giving it to them verbally.
Oh, I reckon Essendon go all right giving it back. They're just not getting pinged for it.
It's hard to give it back when you're getting flogged on the scoreboard, though, isn't it?
I agree.
Keith, you had to really ring around the 50 and just outside the perimeter there's the skipper, Maxwell.
The difference in ball use is stark at the moment.
Well, side bottom, the one-handed mark in the wet, and then spots up a 40-metre stab pass on the non-dominant foot.
Yeah, that kick from Maxwell's probably 5 metres too deep. That's just too easy. You want, in the wet conditions, you want to just put it about 12 metres out, 15 metres out from goal.
So, Ruzzi, quarter time can't come quick enough for the Bombers. What does James Hird do when he gets his charges?
Well, I think you've got to get an anchor back. I mean, Harry O'Brien's been playing one kick behind the play really effectively. You've either got to man him up or you've got to decide to do the same down the other end. The problem is now, at 30-odd points down, you're probably going to have to man up O'Brien, which opens up your forward line.
What about those boos for poor old Joe Watson? That was just 60,000 of the MCG launching into him.
And he held onto the ball for a long time too, didn't he? They can't afford to have any more damage. Hardingham is able to come away. Difficult to find a target, though, for the Bombers. Their exits have been imprecise, to say the least. They might have to concede another. Well, there will be one more shot for goal.
He's had a really good quarter. His hands on the footy in the wet weather, like a lot of his teammates, have been one touch, one grab. How this kid was in the VFL for that long is beyond me.
I wonder if he can get the journey, because he'll kick from just outside 50 with a wet ball. And I don't know that he's an extraordinary lot. He's going to torp. Is he holding it for a torp there?
At wet weather, sometimes the torps go further.
I think he is.
Than in dry footy.
He's
going
hit it
right.
Going for the barrel.
He's kicked 14-7 for the year. Don't think that's going to add to it. A little bit of humour at the end of the quarter, but there's nothing funny about this situation for Essendon. Their first goalless opening quarter since round 3. Their only goalless quarter for the season since that game. And Nathan Buckley, he won't be showing it, but he would be as proud as punch, boys.
Yeah, look, absolutely. Their game style is very, very good. They're clean with the ball use. They've dropped one back. They've made it hard for them to score.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. The stat that stands out the most for me, Ruzzi, we were just chatting about it off air. You mentioned Collingwood's had 50 more possessions in a quarter of footy. They've also had more tackles, 23-15. There's no excuse for that.
No, which is extraordinary. They're on track for, they've got 120 possessions, Colin. They're on track for 480, which is massive numbers, particularly in the wet when you try to keep it simple.
So work rate, a massive issue for the Bombers, and there was almost a state of shock in the voice of Bomber Thompson in that interview with David King.
Yeah, big numbers. Harry O'Brien 11, side bottom 11, Ball 9, Pendlebury, etc., etc.
So O'Brien and Goddard are starting on each other. Let's see how long they stay on each other.
Is it short-term goals for the Bombers, Ruzzi, in a way here?
Yeah, you just got to win this quarter. I mean, look, the weather is the worry if it opens up, but under normal circumstances, a 5-goal lead is not a huge lead in today's football. The problem is the weather. If it opens up, but there's another poor entry.
Yeah, but it's not just the injury, Rizzy. No one actually went for it. No one said, well, the kick wasn't meant for me, but I'll go and get it anyway.
Brilliant by Sidebottom. He worked out where ball was even before he approached the footy.
For me, the Collingwood players are all waiting for someone. The Essendon players are all waiting for someone else to do something. No one's decided, I'm going to make a change.
Well, every time there's a ground ball, Jace, it's always a Collingwood player that gets to the fall of the ball first.
Grundy in front, Ryder from behind. He goes again, big Grundy. O'Brien. Maxwell. And Goddard doing some heavy lifting there and needed to. McCaffer, tables turned on him by Heppel.
Dermot's getting to the stage where they need a big action, a big defensive tackle, a big bump, a big hit. They need a big moment from one of their leaders here, the Bombers.
Well, the word that shines out to me, and it was mentioned before, is a statement. I mean, they're going out the back door fairly meekly, even though down there they'll be feeling it physically, Kingy, but they're going out the back door here without a goal.
Speaking of statements, Derm, they've actually released a statement saying they have received the Asada report, the interim report, Essendon, so nothing to do with the game, but given that you mentioned statement, I thought it was a chance to let everyone know about that. That's off-field matters. Back to what's happening out there on the MCG.
We see Jetta out there now, so they've well and truly pulled that one.
Keith.
See, again, you've had a Collingwood play off the back of that stoppage. That's Dwyer. So what's happening? Essendon's loose players getting caught around the clearance. Collingwood's loose players playing a kick behind and much more effective at the moment.
Maxwell, he's led wonderfully so far. O'Brien's 13th disposal. Reid and Cluck, the two talls are both there. The smalls didn't quite arrive in time. Hibbard, Hooker. Again, the instant gear, Bagley, the pressure just transferred from one bomber to the next. Reid missed Sidebottom, hence Harakis' ability to be able to get it to Carlisle, and they're out to the wing. Ryder, things might be able to change. He decided not to go. Could have kicked into the space, and now they do just that. Into the space and say, go Chase, here's the sub. Jetta, can he inject some pace to the, if he can hold his ground here? He had to recover quickly, which he did. Good stuff.
He's brave.
Are they up for the fight, the Bombers? They need to be, but coming away, Keith shows his versatility. Finds O'Brien.
See, Goddard went to the line then. He went down the boundary line thinking, I'm going to go to where the logical kick will go rather than go with my man.
I was just going to say, Derm, he's the one that really has to tighten up Goddard. He's getting a smacking at the moment from Harry O'Brien.
And they're doing a lot right at the moment, the Pies. Sidebottom got it well to Blair. Now this is Hooker. Goes to ground. And it's all Collingwood. Blair chips it up. Reid has to back. Defence was the mantra there for Melksham. Slapped it away. McCaffer, Hibbard, Swan. So they'll try and get a piece of it. Goddard fashioned something out of there to Gumbleton. Watson in front gets nudged.
Well, he's definitely feeling that right now.
If you start the second quarter,
Nice kick.
deep forward.
To Beams.
Jason Watson forward in time of need.
Yeah.
Gee, I don't know whether it's Mark Murphy-ish coming back a week early with Carlton and that jaw injury, but
It looks at the moment like an act of desperation, doesn't it, to get him
being
back
out
in.
there.
Yeah.
No, he's got to be in the middle. That's what they need at the moment. They've got him forward. It's not as if they haven't got tall targets to put down there.
Dane Beams just kicked the 2 goals, 3 this year. Of course, just playing his 4th game for the season. But he's been in wonderful touch since returning. And there's another little statement coming from Collingwood. We talked about Essendon needing to say something, but it's Collingwood continuing the trend. They've kicked the only 6 goals of the game. And they are a powerful force right now and lead by 37 points.
This is a kick from Goldstein. This is an absolute beautiful kick. He spotted him out of the corner of his eye and changed the momentum of his kick, or the style of his kick halfway through. I think on Watson too, guys, the maturity of the team is when they don't need Watson as much. And that's probably the problem at the moment, that you'd expect some of these other guys to stand up. The good teams at the top of the ladder aren't relying on one player.
But Rizzy, further to what Dermot was saying, if you're a coach and you pick a player, he's got to be fit enough to play the way he plays, not in a different role. If he's not fit enough to play the normal game, you don't pick him to play a different role. 7
marks inside 50, has produced 5 goals, as you saw there. Bombers have been breaking level at the clearances, so it's not so much the clearances their issue, but they are valuable. Delolio, the small men have not even been able to get anywhere near the footy for the Bombers down there in the forward 50. And once again, oh, hang on, there's an Essendon free here, I think. Might be Tacoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the silly little things coaches absolutely hate, particularly when you're 39-2 up. The other team's really struggling to get on the scoreboard. Nathan Buckley be really disappointed.
He's keen to have a look at what the free kick was for.
He would be, but you don't put yourself in that position. This is a momentum changer, and you can't afford to change the momentum yourself.
So it's Comma. He's been so good with the little things this year. They need some big things now from their small man. And a big thing for Essendon at the moment is a goal, because the first one comes 6 minutes into the second quarter.
Here it is here.
Off the ball. Oh, wow.
Well, I don't know about that.
He actually made the initial engagement, I think, as we have a look here. So Williams is trying to share, but then he grabs Sinclair, who grabs him back, and he gets the free kick. Isn't it? It's always the retaliator that gets rewarded, isn't it?
That's a horrible.
Tell me about it.
I mean, that is horrible.
You were not the retaliator. You were the instigator.
That is close to being the line of the year.
It is.
I'll tell you one thing, the Shintaro hairdo's coming back in.
Wow, it's big. They're everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah.
Actually, Grundy's got one as
Got
well.
one in the ruck.
39-8, and they're out of the middle again. That could be the spark. They certainly needed to be ignited somehow, Essendon. Stanton. Delolio. Talked about at the start just the lack of goal-kicking power in this Essendon team today.
So that's interesting in itself. James Hird coaching from down at the boundary line.
Yeah, and I suspect with Bomber Thompson there, he'd have enough faith in him to control the box upstairs. But also, he wants to get to his players. As they're coming on off the ground, he wants to speak to them directly, to give them some feedback, and also to find out what's going on. I think that's a smart thing to do from Hird.
Two men get to lay the tackle. It tells me that they're emotionally a bit more charged now.
Agreed to him. There was some good intent, wasn't there, in those last passages of play. As it's over.
So that's why you were down the boundary line at different stages.
Absolutely, yeah. No, because there's Bomber Thompson there. He would see it the over. You do get a different view of the game, there's no question. But the ability to actually interact directly with your players is really important at different times of a game.
More so when things are going poorly than when they're going
absolutely.
well.
Pendlebury. There's plenty going on off the ball there. Bit of ringa-ringa-rosy with the matchups. Elliott to Blair. He's caused a bit of havoc today. And Big Grundy's going to slide in and take a mark.
Well, Cale Hooker peeled off because he thought the kick was going towards goal. And he got punished. He got punished. When you are getting beaten, the first thing you do is, reverse it. Well, you talk about your momentum changes, Ruzi.
Yeah. What's the second time?
Everybody's been belting into McCaffer since quarter time because they obviously said, look, you know, Dyson Heppel's getting smacked up here. Give him a chop out, boys.
Well, they are on if they can handle it cleanly. Oh, and they can't.
That's a really bad fumble from him.
Poor boy, not making them pay at all. Cloak just hammers it deep. Dick Swan's still a chance here, even though he's outnumbered. Fletcher and the crowd. Let's go get the crowd involved. Nothing like a couple of interesting umpiring decisions to get them riled.
Well, Robert the Green's definitely going the Bombers at the moment with the umpires. That could have been a free kick to Swan.
And Shaw very nearly stayed in, which suited Cloak.
Gee, they're being given a lot of space, the Collingwood players.
Yeah.
Pendlebury, it's a Cloakless forward 50. Reid. Oh, he's paid the mark. He's paid it. Fletcher looks on in disbelief.
I don't reckon he did too much wrong, Ben Reid. I think he just held his ground. And
the interesting thing about Fletcher, Chase, over the years, and you would know this, probably his only weakness is his body strength. When he gets into a one-on-one contest, he does struggle. Against big,
Pick 2, 0, 2 and 4 at his past month. Ben Reid.
Well, the crowd didn't like it when they saw a replay on the big screen. The Essendon supporters most upset with it. Hard to see where their hands in the back. This is the reversal of the free kick before. Again, it was Hocking that backed into a player who just pushes him out of the way, and he gets the reversal. They're two horrendous decisions.
Umpires, come on.
On both occasions, the Essendon player has got in the face of the Collingwood player.
Well, something's working for Essendon because not much else is. Williams takes the mark.
But that's also on the back of in the first quarter, Derm. When you commented, I think it was Carlisle going to Blair. He actually ragdolled him, threw him on the ground, and there was no free kick.
Now Watson. Zaharakis. Dangerous handball. Set him up to get crunched, and crunched is what he got. Even Pendlebury can't use his wizardry to get through there. And it's an Essendon ball through Watson. Hammered it out. Hocking had to approach it carefully with O'Brien bearing down. It's going back. It's fraught with danger today. And nearly gave it up. Hibbert
They just keep going to ground too easily too. Heath Hocking twice went straight to ground.
Goddard tries to pinpoint Stanton. Shaw saw that off. Comma, gain 25. From one side, Keefe, from the other, Delolio.
That's the big difference in the game at the moment, Jace. There's no easy targets out there for Essendon today. They've been shut down. They've only taken 11 marks so far for the game. Collingwood have taken 37, simply controlling the game.
Was Ball in front of the ruckman totally by himself?
Side bottom. Oh, he handballed a Goldsack who was trying to help out his mate, wasn't ready to receive. Matters not now. Sinclair bursting. Cloak, Swan. You'd think Swan might get this if it crept through. Didn't quite.
Well, that's got to be deliberate. That has to be deliberate. He just didn't play it well at all.
Again, go on the ground though, James.
Yeah,
just go to the ground, pick it up.
Kick it off the ground and chase it yourself.
Went for the little pass in and it doesn't turn out, but still won't have a happy result for them. Goldsack, body starting to be thrown around everywhere.
Well, they're just feeling the pressure.
Quinton Lynch gives it plenty to the square. They come again, the Pies, and that's a good defensive score.
One thing I'm noticing is that Reid on 2 occasions this quarter, and also Swan now on that last occasion, the long ball that come in, have taken a second opponent to Cloak when he's been one out with Carlisle. We saw at the other end of the ground in the first quarter, Cloak was able to push Carlisle off the drop of the ball if he only has him to contend with.
Watson's starting to get the ball in this quarter. He's had 6 now. Goddard. That's a great effort from Gambleton. It took 2 or 3, but he juggled it. Back to Stanton, some overlap. Haven't seen much of this for the Bombers. Bell Chambers can't get there. The ball skewed off the boot a little. Delolio slung around. Big Bell Chambers. Oh, that's a fine effort in the wet from the big man.
I've got a feeling he might have just given a little gangster slap on the ear to looked like Goldsack after
Sinclair.
Goldsack goes to ground. Watch him kick it, and if he goes back, oh no, it was a high five.
I'll tell you who wasn't great there was Quinton Lynch. Quinton Lynch is zoning off the back of Bell Chambers. That's his direct opponent, and he just gives him far too much room. He was looking for the handball out the back, Lynch, before they secured the football. And there's the transition all the way from. They're definitely working harder. They've transitioned the ball a lot easier in that passage of play. They're working harder. They're getting the ground balls. They've addressed. It's Essendon now 47 disposals this quarter, 39. Tackle numbers, Jace, we talked about. At least Essendon are 13 tackles to Collingwood, still 7 to Essendon. So that's probably the only concern for them, but they are getting more involved, at least winning the football. In the first quarter, they weren't winning the football or tackling.
They've kicked the last 2, and the margin has been reduced to 27. Dane Swan just trying to steady things up a fraction for the Pies. Just his second disposal coming up for the second term. Back to Keefe. He's looked right at home in his return to footy, hasn't he? 2 in the last 3 weeks.
I think he's a really important player for Collingwood, Lockie Keefe. They can hold down one of those key defensive posts. It just gives them freedom, a bit of flexibility to do a few other things. In particular, swing Reid to the other end.
Shaw went for Grundy, went for the height, the man playing in front. Goddard was holding O'Brien. Umpire didn't see it, plenty of the crowd did. Jenner gives it plenty inside 50. 1 out battle. Keefe again. Oh, he left it behind. Did all the hard work and then undid it. But Gambleton couldn't capitalise. Shaw, Wiley character just take it over the line.
At least to Goddard's credit, he's really tightened up on O'Brien. So it's a good adjustment he's made. Probably a free kick against him, and Harry wasn't happy. But at least he's close to him now, Goddard.
He certainly was.
Yeah.
Throw in Grundy, and here is Goddard. Got it off the. Is that a handball?
Teddy Whitten, come back.
That's a goal. No, it's touched.
It was almost a flick pass.
So McCaffer. And the exodus begins out of the Collingwood defence. And you know this man's just going to plod on, and he'll be up at the next contest soon enough, Swan. Kicks it up to the wing.
Just haven't handled it cleanly enough, the Bombers, at critical times, have they? Always a fumble which allows Collingwood to come in and either create a turnover or a stoppage.
Collingwood's goals, they've got 4 of them from the 15 to 30 metre range. So the ones that are going really deep, there's too much of a pack. You'd almost be instructing your midfield, like on this entry, to pull the kick and make sure it gets to a one-on-one rather than the predictable long one to the goal square.
They're winning a lot more of the contested balls suddenly, Essendon. So this game has just changed a bit in its makeup. Ryder, now Collingwood win it back. Sinclair, they're on the burst here. Essendon have got a spare in the defensive 50. That's Fletcher. Going to be confronted with a footy soon. Melksham helps out as well. But the Pies keep it afloat. Elliott to the good of Blair. Couldn't do much with it.
Yeah, they're definitely Hutto getting back quicker now, the Essendon defenders as well. It was about a 2 versus 4 back there inside Collingwood's forward 50.
Heppel and McCaffrey, they'll do well to come out of this with a 50-50 result. Essendon, they get better than that, they get the free.
That will send the Collingwood supporters into Troppo state after Goddard on O'Brien. It's a good kick.
Kicked at half forward. Surely
Spoiled.
Oh boy. Pendlebury, Swan, but Lynch to his outside. Got it back to Pendlebury, of course. Deep goes the kick. Cloak, here he comes. Oh, Reid.
Play on zone.
And he does. And now he wishes he didn't.
Well, he is Ruckman sort of size, isn't he?
Yeah, it just paused. He didn't. He sort of.
He
If he had played on straight away, he would have been all right. But what happened was he stopped. Here it is here.
It wasn't
going to go, and then
it was actually like he was wired up to our commentary. He had Derm saying it.
I reckon a real good general rule of thumb. If there's any doubt about what you're going to do, there's no doubt. Don't do it.
I don't think there was any doubt. But he's a ruckman just recently a backman recently gone forward.
Oh, Pendlebury, he's over that.
Oh, he did duck in looking for the free kick, no doubt there.
Watson continues to accumulate his 17th disposal, would you believe? Up to the wing, Sinclair. His players sliding in on every angle now. Melksham to half full. We've seen these two out, one out quite a bit in recent times. Keith's won most of the battles when it's mattered. And he earns himself
the shoulder he's paid.
Well, that's the same one as the Pendlebury one they didn't pay. He slipped, got a high tackle, no free kick. And then down the other end, Keith slipped and he did get a free kick.
That's the one problem at the moment. Collingwood are marking the ball inside their forward 50. They've taken 10 marks in a half of football, which is a huge number. Essendon yet to register a mark inside their forward 50.
Hooker and Carlisle, both spectators there. Now this behind the play, there's a free kick. It's going to Collingwood. Oh,
it is on.
And they've taken the advantage. And look at this, it's going to cost them a goal. Quinton Lynch, he hesitated. Should I, shouldn't I?
Gee, there is plenty going on off the ball here. O'Brien and Goddard getting into it there.
I'll tell you what, if I was Lynch, I probably would have played on then. His goal kicking's been
Not great.
pretty poor, hasn't it?
5-9 for the year.
It's a big shot for him.
Been watching him. His left foot basically pulls to the left point post on impact. So he's got to almost slice it to get it through. That's good, though.
It is good. Just a little steadier too for the Pies. And they're back out to that 33-point margin.
Just some discipline acts from both teams just creeping in. Here it is here. I think that's the elbow to the head, but we didn't really see
The takedown, I think.
what happened in the takedown. Yeah, but some behind the play free kicks from both teams now creating goals for their opposition.
Well, should it be play on advantage when Jobe Watson had the ball, and because he's heard the whistle, he stops?
Wasn't that the whole thing when the non-controlling umpire pays it that there's no advantage? That's what we went through a few weeks ago. The Bulldogs game.
I reckon that's a really tough advantage call that went against the Bombers.
Having said that, Jobe Watson would like the time again. Keep playing the game. Keep playing the game.
Heppel and Myers. McCaffrey joins the fray. The ball, dragged it under.
We just saw a huge discrepancy in inside 50s, and certainly that's the game's been played mostly. Essendon have corrected a bit this quarter, but Collingwood have been dominant for much of this game.
Well, they're still 13-7 inside 50s this quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
Sidebottom had an excellent first quarter.
I'll tell you what, they need a big lift out of Brendan Goddard. His opponent's just getting far too much ball at the moment in the forward half of the ground. He's just rolling back defensively. That's fine, but there comes a stage where he's got to pick up his man.
Beams. Grundy. Oh, he made a terrific fly. At the back, Fletcher made no help at all for Hardingham. And he went to try and clean up his own mess, but Keith didn't control it. Jetta. Collingwood got 3 back from this, so if Essendon get a hurried kick out of it, it'll be all Collingwood. And this is where those numbers come into play. Brown, Back inside the 50. Here is Goddard. Here is Stanton. Looking to try and find his teammate in hooker.
I think Swanee's hurt himself too behind play there.
Well, Goddard couldn't move it on quick enough. Didn't really help Melksham much, did it?
See that one there? Look, I'm going to be just a little bit hard on Stanton there. Sometimes you've got to actually take the hit for your team. He actually had to ride that tackle hard and just cough it up over the boundary line rather than give it to a man who was going to be beset upon and get hit and clobbered like he did. You've got to take the hit for your team if you're their senior player.
Bit hard to tell with Swan when he's hurt or not, isn't he?
I just watched him lack a chase. Now, he's not a great midfield chaser, but he was certainly limping. I don't know if you want to keep an eye on that Kingy down there with Swan.
Good contest.
Well, they're building again, the Pies here, making life awfully difficult for the Essendon defence. Time and time again it's come in, and time again the Pies have been first to the footy, really amping up the pressure today.
What an act by Blair there. He came from behind to make the contest. He laid the first tackle on the deck, and then he laid the second tackle then to create the stoppage.
That's the stat that meant the most to me, Riz. We just saw a tackles 45 to 25. And that's when you've had more of the footy as well.
Yeah.
Goddard has a little mini victory there for the Bombers. Now Delulio tries to angle it across the line. Jetta was screaming for it. He didn't spot him. Keith.
I've liked his game, Hutto. Lockie Keith. He's been too strong for everyone that he's had one-on-one body battles with, and he's played in front when he's had the opportunity.
It's going to be a grinding 4 quarters here. You can, just looking down, King's got a better view of than us, but some tired boys coming off already. As we discussed before the game, you just don't have these wet days too often,
not
do
at
you?
all. No. And look, it is more physical. There's probably less running in these conditions, but it's more of a combative game.
And they need to fire another few shots soon, the Bombers. Beltane is just sweating on Brown. And, a little fortunate that one bounced before the line.
The concern for the Bombers, though, is their players are getting hold of the ball this quarter, and they still haven't been able to score, Dermot. I mean, they're big numbers. Watson's had 10, Hocking 9, Goddard 7, Hibbert 6, so 80 possessions to 73. So
they're down to 64% kicking efficiency. They were at 75 at the 12-minute mark.
Yeah.
So the Collingwood's tackling, as you've pointed out, has stepped up in the last 10 minutes, has really reduced their ability to spot the target.
Brereton, Roos, Dunstall with you in the box this afternoon. David King giving you the best analysis from downstairs. And if you're a Collingwood fan, you're happy with what you're seeing. Bombers need their team to lift. A little bit of confusion out there. Carlisle back to Bagley. They build again. Hooker, a little bit fancy. Into the pocket. Slapped away. Taking no chances, Shaw. Delulio tries one on. Got dragged down. The umpire said keep on going.
Gave him a long time to get rid of the ball in AFL football now, don't you?
Look at O'Brien.
He's possessed.
Adrenaline pumping here at the MCG.
Oh, is that not a mark?
You know what? That one where it took a while, I don't mind that. On days like today when it's a physical contest, as long as we get consistency from the umpires, I reckon that's... Well, gee, held it long enough in slow motion.
But in the wet too, that's a clean mark.
Dane Swan's back on the field. He's gone to full forward. There's an issue with his right knee, I think. He's just hobbling, but it's not very hard to tell with Dane.
He's a wobbler.
Bit of space jump there, that kick up to half forward. And the ball over the line out of bounds. Ooh. Camera boys getting into the thick of it as well down there.
Take the punishment.
Swan back on.
And McCaffrey is annoying the living daylights out of Heppel.
How do you think Heppel's coping, Derm?
Oh, look, he's getting, from quarter time, he's getting a little bit more physical assistance from his teammates.
This is an opening Essendon need to take, but look at that. We've seen that from the opening bounce from the Pies. Brilliant desperation stakes again. Quick kick away sideline was good too. But Heashaw's tackle.
Gee, their tackling's been outstanding, Hutto. Absolutely outstanding.
Look at the massive gap at half forward. Dwyer. Cloak's calling for it long, but he went short instead. And the smart Elliott was playing in front.
Yeah, I don't know whether he meant that kick. It was a low line drive, but it was certainly effective. There's no question about that.
I think Apple's gone all right. He's not getting big numbers, but he's still had 4 clearances. But they've been scunge-type clearances, as most of them are going to be on these types of days. But It's going to really test him. This is part of the education of being a really gifted, really good 21, 22-year-old player.
So he kicked the first goal of the half, and he may well have kicked the last as well. Elliott puts through his second goal.
And it all started...
Lead by 39 points.
It all started down the back end with his tackle. Here it is here, and it's just an unbelievably good tackle from Heath Shaw. And that's been the key to the game so far. Their tackling's been outstanding. Side bottom was the extra back. He gets involved. And then I don't know, I just want to have a look at this one again. The last one here. I'd like to see this again, whether he did mean it or was a bit of a scrubby kick. No. Well, it just came off. Didn't come off well, but he did mean it. Yes. Really good ball movement and a nice finish for goal as well. Scores from turnovers, 4-5 down to one goal.
So we're down to the last 55 seconds. Zaharakis wobbles it inside 50. Bit of a rickety old kick. It'll do though. The Bombers, Delolio, they've got to get some goals, well, from anywhere, but from their small men particularly. There's a flying snap, which goes right across and through from behind from Collier.
The small men in the forward line for Essendon seem to me to be opportunistic rather than crumbing type players. I mean, they did get a genuine crumb there once the ball went in there, but they've been few and far between, and quite frankly, the ball's going to hit the deck a lot of times when it comes in.
Yeah.
So Shaw, we've seen that before, to himself and out to the wing. Bagley and Bellchambers had the raffle between them there. So is there a clean mark amongst the Bombers that are in the forward 50 at the moment? It was not a good kick. Not a good kick at all.
He's playing a ripping game, Nathan Brown.
Off to Shaw, and now to Let's explain why, Dirk.
Oh, look, I just think when the ball's gone in, these types of days, you go in there long and you're looking for somebody actually to stand up. Well, he's been like the big pillar that he's just put the fist through the ball, and everybody can actually look at him and say, he's the strength area when the ball's going in there long.
So for all their hard work, the Bombers, and they did work much harder in the second quarter, they were still outscored 3 goals to 2, 3-3 to 2-2. There's plenty of feeling. Maybe this will be something that Essendon can use. Look at them, they're coming from everywhere. They want to fly the flag, all that sort of stuff on the break. Might get sorted out. Harry O'Brien very vocal. His teammates just telling him to take a little bit of care, but Collingwood fans all love it. They will absolutely love what they've seen. We're going to get down to David King in a moment. He's going to try and collar Nick Maxwell. He's ready now. Bit going on now.
Well, the other thing that hurts him a little bit is Dempsey going off early in the game. So they've already activated their sub, and the rebound off defensive 50 that he creates. But the Cloke-Carlisle battle has been a tough one in the wet. But should be a really good second half footy.
And we're into it. And it starts going which way? Is it Collingwood's way? No, it's the captain, Watson. The crowd catches up and just gives a little boo. They're going to stick with that going into this third quarter. Comer, there was magpies everywhere and he felt them too. O'Brien tried to withstand a fair bit. Shunted away to Williams and now to Swan. Trying to keep Watson guessing. It's over the line and out of bounds.
And once again, just that fierce pressure of Collingwood, just to the ability of Maxwell to follow up and make that tackle on Comer.
Grundy gets it back down to Hocking. Heppel, sneaky little handball out. Zaharakis, Williams was there for the Pies. Heppel again. And Myers, that's good clean disposal from the Bombers, but it ends now with side bottom.
Look at the break by Swan to the far side.
Yeah, it was like he got a head start on the rest, wasn't it? He's still on.
Yeah, and at the stoppage, his direct opponent was Watson, who's over this side.
Yeah.
So they're about 100 metres apart.
Interesting decision there from Sinclair. He had Maxwell down the corridor on the defensive 50, but just no need to take outrageous chances at the moment for the Pies.
They've done this really well all day. Just this short use out of the back half, taking their time, getting the marking targets where they need them. No cost on turnover.
Hocking was able to negate Pendlebury effectively that time. Heppel, Goddard. Good decision, got it through. Now they're on the fly. Zaharakis brings it back into Myers. He's got a hefty left boot. It's a arcing ball though, and it's marked well by sideball.
Gee, his hands are good.
He reads the play so well as a half-back. I've just been watching him at the start of this quarter. His ability to read the flight of the football off the boot, and almost interpret what the guy's going to do with the ball has been fantastic by Sidebottom.
Gee, the kick from Myers going in was just about the worst possible option. He had a couple of short options. He didn't size it up. He panicked. He tried to blast it 70 metres off one step and turned it over.
And hit it with a lot of topspin, who dipped very quickly.
Sidebottom's had 7 disposals inside defensive 50 today, of his 20 in total.
Oh, look at this.
And now they do take the line through the middle.
Just didn't have a runner going past, otherwise they were away, the Pies.
It's Grundy. Now he's got some run from behind. He decides, though, to head to Cloak. Pretty safe option.
A very open forward line, too.
One-on-one.
Reid wants it high, wants it long. Can he see off Fletcher? Yes. Can he goal? That's a different question altogether. Still got the answer ahead. The goals were ahead. And he found them. Impressive. The lead by 44 now, Collingwood. And they've come up with different ways of kicking goals this afternoon. That's a beauty from Reid.
You mentioned it before half-time. Now watch Fletcher, the power of Reid.
Yeah.
Fletcher's a big man, but he's a wiry man. That's why he's played so much footy. He's got no real poundage, extra pounds he carries around. One of the all-time greats, but the one area of his game against big, powerful men, he got pushed over.
How many times today have we seen Collingwood on their feet and the Bombers on the ground? And that's been the difference.
Well, time in the gym won that one.
Yeah, but it's also, I mean, Fletcher's been great at actually not engaging in body contact. I mean, he would probably play on you, Jason, I'd imagine. He would always try to release and sit off you. That time he did get caught in a one-on-one wrestling battle, and that's the way, if you're going to get Fletcher, that's the way you'll get him.
Mind you, I played on him 30 years ago when he was 12, Reggie.
He was in grade 6 then, wasn't he?
Jetta, Delulio, Comma, Maxwell, Pendlebury. Goldsack, and again, they can get the ball into safe arms, and Harry's going to enjoy this. A bit of a Sunday stroll through the middle. Aims up Reid, misses.
Oh, how important is this?
Oh, Bagley, great tackling from Elliott. Dwyer could have been deemed to throw. And Lynch fire. Oh, Pendlebury would have marked that, well, 19 times out of 20, but I guess conditions was that.
Well, he originally didn't pay the free kick because he ducked ahead as he was picking the ball up, and then he paid it.
He burrowed in.
Yeah, Pendlebury would never drop them, Harley, right.
He's a good long kick, Marley Williams.
You've got to pull the kick, I reckon, rather than go.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, it might work out.
That's just when you overstride on the kick, isn't it? Trying to kick it too far.
But that one there has not been one mark taken inside 15 metres from a set type, a slow play kick for the entire day. You've got to pull that kick and land it 20 out.
You know what's interesting at the moment is it's not about can Essendon get themselves back in the game at the moment. Can they just find a period where they're not getting completely dominated? Because Collingwood have controlled this game from start to present time.
Who's the best backman on the ground?
His ability to read the ball's been good today.
Brown. Probably his most famous performances came against Nick Revolt, didn't they, in the 2010 Grand Finals?
They just haven't been able to shut out. Kingy mentioned before, they haven't been able to shut down these kicks. These little short kicks coming out of defence.
Britton Lynch.
And the numbers are racking up, Ruzi.
Yeah.
The mark in totals at the moment, 67 to Collingwood and 18 to Essendon.
There's got to be something in there because all of the upsets we've seen in the last fortnight or so have come from the underdog team who's kicked the ball short, used it and honoured the lead of the short possession.
Watson, he had a choice there, gambled on who to go to. Chose Stanton. And now they're flowing, but again, there's 4 Pies in the frame and only 1 Bomber.
That's that massive fist again, Hutto. He's controlled that. He's spoiled everything.
It was a poor decision from Brent Stanton going forward.
Yeah, it was. And a poor one from Sidebottom to kick it out of bounds on the full.
His left foot is very good, but he probably could have used his right there. Into Melksham. He might be able to launch a bomb here. Comma outsized, but he did the job. And that is a massive strike from way downtown from Melksham. It's a great goal. And the Bombers need everything they can possibly muster if they're to mount something in the third.
From a turnover.
You know, I was about to say when the long kick went in, it's not ideal when you're going to Comma against Keefe with a big high ball, but he was strong enough to get goal side and just hold Lockie Keefe out of the way. And a terrific kick from Melksham, skids through.
I think that's the key, Jay. It's just an inexperience from a young defender. Let his man, a smaller man, outbody him and get goal side. He really needed to dictate that as a big, strong, key position player. Knock Comer out the way, punch the ball through, but just that inexperience, he got caught out.
Mind you, it's got to be difficult, Reece, because as a big bloke, you sit there and you say, well, the only way he's going to beat me is on the lead.
Yeah.
So if I take front position away from him, he's not going to mark it over the top of me. You're probably just not expecting Jake Melsham to kick it 65 metres.
Over the top, yeah, absolutely.
That's a rare area where Essendon have been in front today in the centre clearances. 9-4, which doesn't say much for the rest of their play. I guess does it when they've been able to get the ball out of the middle.
Gee, the ISO of Comer on Keefe, it looks like Laurel and Hardy. They're just poles apart in height.
I thought
Did he have
that was
an
a
arm?
free.
Did he have his left arm?
Yeah,
it looked like it.
It has to be a free, that.
Bell Chambers looking at the umpire, no joy.
Yeah.
And the umpire was in a good position, it appeared.
Here it is here.
Well, he's holding his left arm and he can't put it up. That has to be a free
I
kick.
don't know how you can miss it.
Grundy.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon it's a new invention for backmen to doing that? They've been getting away. Brucey, you've been getting away with it for 25
Yeah, they
years.
changed the rules now, though.
Good ball and Stanton. Goddard trying to regather. Melksham. Not the ideal service for Dalulio.
Well, that's just...
And it's Hardingham. And the Bombers have been able to kick a couple here.
That's a lapse. Yeah, one of the few mistakes from a Collingwood defender there. I think it was Heath Shaw. Doom just slipping it off the ground when probably could have bent down and pick it up. But one of the very, very few mistakes he's made. Here it is. Just there.
At least take the ball and make them, the Essendon team, make a positive action by tackling it off you.
Well, he's going to come off and have a spell after kicking the goal, but that's the first positional change. Hardingham started back. They've thrown him forward in the third term, and it reaps an immediate reward.
Kingy, come in.
The biggest thing in the game at the moment is momentum. Cashing in when you've got it, and that's a 3+ goal streak. 4 on the left-hand side, momentum your way, and then stopping it when it's going against you. And as you can see there, both sides have been just better than average this season. Collingwood won't want to concede 3 in a row. They're very good at stopping them.
Oh, Reid, he kept Fletcher exactly where he wanted him. And he's done that a few times this afternoon against various opponents.
I don't reckon Dustin Fletcher has too often played on someone that has the same length arms and legs.
Yeah.
It's like having two Spider-Men playing on each other.
Two go-go gadgets.
I remember one, Severo Rocker, and he was a bit heavier as well.
Just a fraction. So here's Reid. Started as a forward. He was in different goal kicking, but ended up seeing him go back. But he's reinvented himself this year in the forward half and connects when Collingwood really needed him to there, just to keep the Bombers, just to put them back in their box. It's 38 points the difference.
Here it starts here. Look at this. I don't know what... I think he's trying to hit it over the top, Ryder, but went straight down Swan's throat. And you're right, Joe, good call. Normally, they're the ones that Fletcher gets his hand to.
He can lean over
the top and punch, but he found here, look at that.
But even though it was on the lead, he stopped dead.
And
he's
bodied
marked
him.
that ball while he's got 2 heels on the ground.
Yeah.
So it's a reach, it's a body strength contest.
Well, he actually just held... There's the goals inside 50 as well from Marks.
Once again, King, that's a pulled kick to get a one-on-one contest inside forward 50.
And Reid's importance in that forward line can't be understated. He's taken 4 marks inside 50 today.
Game opening up a bit though. Myers as it comes buzzing around from one side to the other. Ryder. Hurried kick now. Keefe. He's got Bombers on either side. Oh, set up there for Gambleton. Once again, Brown.
Interesting one to see that again. Is that the slide one underneath? I know it's a great effort here from Keith, but I reckon that's a slide into his legs. And that's
He's hit the ball.
Yeah, but I reckon that's technically a free kick under the interpretation of the rule. Brave umpire to pay it, but he slid into his legs.
Gee, you'd be stiff as a defender to get pinged with a despairing dive to slap the ball away, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Now ball ahead of him is Cloak short and the running Elliott.
Great kick.
Reid wants it again long. He reckons he's got Fletcher's measure, and at the moment he just about has. This time Fletcher lives to fight another day. Uses Goddard and then is sucking in the deep breaths as the kick goes to half-back.
Tiny little telltale action. See when Fletcher went for the handball then, he fell to ground, so he's exhausted playing in this type of heavy underfoot against a bigger, more powerful opponent.
Zaharakis brought it in. Hooker is the man to a 2-on-2 situation for the Bombers. We haven't seen a lot of, but often they've been outnumbered in their forward 50.
He looks fatigued and tired, Dustin Fletcher. Oh, that was a great win by him. And let me just say, after talking about some of the things that happened against him, he is one of the all-time greats, one of the best backmen I've seen in the last 30 years.
Bell-Chambers to Heppel. They are combining better now. Suddenly looking more dangerous, Essendon.
Well, they got blown away in the first term, but you feel that the game maybe now is a little bit more on an even keel.
Yeah.
Whether they can eat away at that lead on the scoreboard remains to be seen, though.
Yeah, they just need to gnaw away a bit this third, don't they? Maybe put a few doubts in Collingwood's mind.
Except when Collingwood go forward, they seem to have the answers. They find ways to kick goals, even when Essendon get on the board.
Look, you're right. They've levelled it up, but they're winning the quarter by 2 points.
Yeah.
They got to win it by 2 goals.
Bagley, again, the pressure being transferred. It's relentless from the Pies. Blair to Swan, and they're up to the 50 again with Cloak. Playing Carlisle smartly. Now Essendon have some numbers, some reinforcements going deep. Hence the decision to go short to Pendlebury.
Oh, Swanee's calling his heart out.
50. Oh, wow.
You know what? You can understand Hocking then trying to crib the mark. See, he's going to run past Dane Swan from the left-hand side of camera here in a second. There he is. He got into space, and Hocking knew it because he hedged his bet thinking, is it going to Swan? Is it going to Pendlebury? I'll cut the distance. And then when he went to the mark of Pendlebury, he thought, I've got to make sure he can't unload this to Swan. Clever umpiring, too. He knew what was going on, the umpire there.
He's kicked 14-6 for the season, Scott Pendlebury. He rams that one right through. And once again, it is out to 7 goals.
I think the problem for Essendon is that Collingwood haven't slowed down. I mean, Essendon are playing a lot better, but the tackle again, Collingwood haven't dropped off, so it's going to be really, really hard for Essendon to get back in the game. They've let even the ledger, but Collingwood are still playing really good football here. There's Swan, as you saw, Derm, good call there, running, good kick inside.
And he's caught now.
Keeps on running.
Yeah. He knows what's going beyond him in the pocket.
I think it might have been on Myers from behind, actually.
And he put the arms up.
And Bucks is happy. Not if that goes against you, not. No. But there's coaching Jace for you. Hey, one bloke's clapping in the box, the other one's going, oh, that's not a 50.
What about Scotty Pendlebury? I read this morning he's taken to shooting hoops on the morning of match day just to improve his feeling and all those sorts of things, Rosie.
We might get him down on a Monday night to help Gazy out.
Well, here's the first mark inside 50 of the day for Essendon.
Well, listen to the reception for John Watson from the Collingwood supporters.
Quentin Lynch is coming off the ground. He wonders what he's done, but it's nothing to do with him.
He's had a good game, though, Watson. He's been the one that sort of lifted them and tried to get them back in the game. Goes forward, takes a mark, and obviously a really critical shot at goal.
He's a warrior, but in answer to your previous statement, Jason, you pay your money, you call out as loud as you want.
So he soaks it all up, Joe Watson. Goes back, skips in, kicks from 50. The crowd will roar again for a different reason on the kick. Gee, Gumbleton almost claimed that one. Bombers need somebody just to sneak in here. Beams running out of territory. Finds the dancing O'Brien. There's an element of danger in that kick. Pendlebury again, back towards the boundary line, really. Stanton, O'Brien, Goldsack. Another important in for Collingwood over the last month as they gradually get the gang back together. And the ball over the line out of bounds.
Yeah, Goldsack's, if he was an American, you'd call him special teams. He just about goes anywhere they need a 6'3", multi-talented player.
Yeah, I think he's an important player for them.
Well, at the start of this quarter, they had Keefe on the bench because Goldsack was the preferred option against a more agile key forward target.
Well, he can play on the talls, smalls and mediums because of his agility. Nice handball.
And Comma just overcorrected the kick there.
We'll just see Brent Stanton coming off for a spell. The Bombers would love to get him into the game. He's been pretty quiet, just the 13 possessions today, but no impact at all.
No.
So the margin 41 at the MCG. Smart kick down the middle to Swan, and he breaks quickly. Unawares was Goddard, and suddenly they're stolen the march again. And those two, Pendlebury and Swan, the playmakers for the Pies in tandem on their own terms today. And this has been one of the main beneficiaries, and that is Ben Reid. Cloak waits in the goal square as Reid sets his sights on another shot for goal.
This is his range, 52, 53. He's not the biggest kick in the league, but he is genuinely a good punch of the ball. He's like one of these bowlers that they say bowls with a heavy ball. He gets the ball through the air so quickly and flat.
just on the wrong side for a minor. So 2 goals, 3, the return from Ben Reid.
They've kept a nice open forward line, the Pies today.
Yeah.
They've always had space to lead into, or players running with the ball into pockets of space.
Oh, they converge, the 2 Pies. Great stuff from Dwyer. Swan now, just working through the options. Pendlebury with his crafty hands. They share and share alike, and Blair is the man that puts it through. And Essendon's hearts have been well and truly broken this afternoon. This Collingwood team, what a performance. They lead by 48 now.
I'll tell you what, I think it was Dwyer. Was it Dwyer that came across here?
And he sprints. He sprints from the flank.
Absolutely flat out. He's created this goal here. A really, really good effort there. Good crumb, some nice hands. Pendlebury gets on the end of it, and he will make something happen. He's a real architect. Here it is here, just a handball out into space.
Gee, they were queuing up to kick.
Yeah, they were. Good composure by Blair. He knew there was not a lot of traffic around him, and he was able to finish well.
Kingy, the ground being that heavy, that style goal to go 48 points up, it'll be a tough hang-on here for Essendon. As much as they've come back in quarters 2 and 3, early in 3, it'll be a tough hang-on here for a heavy ground.
Yeah, you're spot on, Dermot. It looks like they've broken them. It really does look like emotionally they're gone here.
Talk about the bigger picture as it goes on, but at the moment there's plenty happening out there for us to concentrate on. Sinclair hits up Cloak, running them ragged, the Pies, this afternoon. Cloak's been on the bite because they've liked to isolate Ben Reid a lot of the time. He's got plenty of company down there. Fletcher hit the contest well. Hocking.
See the Blair chase. Yeah. Didn't get to it, but he ran at him with intent.
Hardingham. Good form in the VFL, forced his way back into the team. They left Pears out for this week.
Never minded Commoner's game, not the hugest numbers in the world, but he just has a rip in.
That's a really poor kick. Yeah. And their ball use today going forward, they've either made the wrong decision or the execution's been poor. Really been difficult for the Bomber forwards.
Kicking efficiency overall, 71% to Collingwood and 62 to Essendon, as you see there.
We're now looking at the tackle count, 34-63.
Yeah. That's been the game. The defensive stuff.
I don't understand how it can be at that discrepancy when Collingwood's had so much more of the footy.
Yeah. That is a massive discrepancy. 63-34.
That'll be one of the first things pointed out at the match review, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You're not going to win. Well, you're not going to win a game of football if you get beaten significantly in the tackles like that.
Almost double by 3. Emerging up onto encroaching up to 3/4 time.
Encouraging performance by this man too. He's looked quite comfortable, hasn't he, Brodie Grundy? It's his 10th disposal. He's only 19 years of age. Quentin Lynch, plenty on the kick, making life difficult for the Bomber defence. They're circling again, the Pies. Blair in everything, as the boys have been saying. McCaffer, Hocking, and they're out for the moment. Some blessed relief for Essendon. Hibbert, Heppel. Still one handball away from disaster here. So far, so good. But Myers just blazes. And Nathan Brown will do what he's been doing all day. Redoubtable defender. Gets it. That's not a great handball.
Last week, Hawthorn were able to restrict Michael Hibbert to 1 kick outside defensive 50. Hibbert's only had the 1 kick forward of his defensive 50 again tonight. So teams are identifying his ball usage coming through the midfield.
Yeah, they just haven't had any run off half back. Obviously, Dempsey going down early has really hurt them.
Well, let's watch the Pies in action again. Blair closing in here, Hooker. We've seen massive comebacks this year, and Essendon need to think about that and just find something late in this 3rd quarter, because there's time for them to kick a couple of goals.
Again, just a great tackle there, Hutto. Just the desperation. I think he was side bottom there.
Collingwood have been guilty as anyone of not playing 4 quarters, so you can see that, can't you, with the way they're just not going to let off the way they're going at the moment. Lynch bombs away, gets it deep, and there's Hibbert. Takes the reliever.
That's what they've missed, Hutto. They've only taken 5 intercept marks for the day. That's been Essendon's strength all year. Collingwood have taken 15, but it's been those 2 guys down back, Hooker and Hibbert, that have done it all year. Number 1 and 3 in the competition for intercept marks. Haven't seen it today, but they're capable, but we just haven't seen it today.
Hocking into Goddard. Now, Gumbleton's on here. He saw the same thing as we did, and it's all ahead of him. Just must nail the goal. It's that sort of day for Essendon.
But at least they're creating opportunities. We know that you can score quickly in this game. There's still a quarter and a bit to go.
You know what, they came out the other side though. They spread Collingwood a little bit rather than just say, we're going down the line, you've got 12 behind the footy there, we'll try and outmuscle you, which hasn't worked at any stage.
What are the conditions like? Kicking, it's been a while since we've had rain, isn't it?
Yes, it's not going down at the moment. It's a perfect night at the moment, but there is just some clouds rolling above as I say that. Hello, so I'm a bit nervous.
We're
Well,
always
Harry bounced
concerned
it.
for you.
Harry's bounced it and it's come back to him, so
It's a start.
that's the old practice wicket area though.
Oh, damn. Hasn't been there for 20 years.
Still hard.
Oh, Dane Beams. Dwyer. And the fancy footwork required. Quentin Lynch, we knew what he was trying to do.
You've got to get to the outside. See, he's come here, and now Delolio's going to take the mark. Yeah, good mark, but he's got to actually get to the outside of his opponent.
Moved it on with haste to Heppel. Tried the little crafty kick.
I know Heppel's coughed up a couple, but gee, he's worked hard in this quarter. I think you talked about it before, Derm. This is a test for the kid. I reckon he's passed the test.
Yeah.
He's had 10 disposals this quarter. I mean, they haven't been great disposals, but I love the way he's absolutely working hard to shake off a tag.
I think the footy world's in agreement with you that this kid is a really good kid who will put his nose over the footy, and yeah, he's got something about him.
Now, Goddard needed help. Myers was a welcome sight, but there was no one to help Myers, no support at all. And again, it's Swan that just punching holes in the Essendon defence everywhere. Elliott to line up.
Brendan had to lay that tackle, and he won't want to see that again, but I guarantee you we'll show it.
Marks inside 50, 15 to 1. Their ball use has been outstanding for Collingwood.
Talked earlier about getting the band or the team back together. Collingwood are gradually getting their players. Obviously, Jolly and Dale Thomas would be handy to add. There's questions over their fitness as we head towards September. But they've shown this afternoon that their best is well worth watching. And Jamie Elliott started the afternoon. He started the whole affair with a goal. He's kicked one in each quarter so far. He's got 3. And Collingwood lead by 53 points here at the MCG.
I agree, Hutto, but this is not a talent win. And here's Brendan Goddard here, just the handball back. This again, great tackle pressure.
This tackle that
here
he
it is
misses.
here. This is the one there. Just gets away from him. Collingwood haven't missed their tackles. Essendon have missed some critical ones. But this is not a talent win, Hutto. This is an effort win. I think this is what everyone's been watching and waiting to see for Collingwood Football Club. We know they have the talent. There's no question about that. But this has been a comprehensive display up until this stage.
It's absolutely true, Ruzi. But having those, I guess, just more experienced bodies back in the team as well has certainly assisted. Looks like Blair, as we said, Keith back in defence, Goldsack.
Not big numbers for Brodie Grundy, who's come in the last 2 weeks, but
He looks
he's a
good,
big
man.
kid.
He looks good.
He doesn't mind jumping into him at the centre bounce either.
Yeah, he's physical.
Stay over it.
It's great for their future, isn't it? I mean, he's come in on his first season. Hasn't got his chance till late in the year. Margin is 53, and they're still laying tackles all over the ground, the Pies. And Blair has been wonderful with his effort.
Yeah, he's been outstanding, Blair. He's only had the 10 disposals, but he's kicked 2 goals.
6 tackles,
He's had
Ruzi.
6 tackles, yeah. It's been really good.
They're damning numbers, those, aren't they, for Essendon, that tackle count?
Yeah.
70 to 38. Cloak just been a role player as much as anything, but haven't they had some great roles? McCaffrey, everybody's getting in on the act at the MCG. They are smashing the Bombers now. 59 points between these great rivals. Essendon beat them by 46 on Anzac Day, and there's some fair retribution taking part.
Now just watch Heppel here. This is the other side of getting tagged. And I've just complimented him before, but the other side of getting tagged is not letting your opponent kick a goal. Now, admittedly, he did help out, but his responsibility there's got to be to McCaffrey when you're in the defensive 50, Jace. You've got to be a defender, not an offensive player. You can't let your opposition tag player kick a goal on you like that.
Gee, Collingwood's work rate's been impressive. They've worked hard defensively, but when they've had the ball, the number of times they've had number of options running forward into space. They've created opportunities and they've made the most of it. They've really punished Essendon by working twice as hard.
You do have the syndrome also, the midfielders who get tagged thinking, well, he's only got eyes for me, not the footy, and you relax on them, and the smart ones capable of doing that are going to hurt you if you fall into that attitude.
When Collingwood have been poor this year, lads, I think that they've allowed the opposition to go from defensive 50 coast to coast and score. Essendon have only kicked 1 goal out of their defensive half today, and that's been the difference.
Swan to O'Brien.
There's a let-off. I think the other thing about that Heppel one we were just talking about, so he's gone to cover Luke Ball. I don't know who was on Luke Ball at the time, but there's a player missing there. But if you're going to leave your man and go to another man, you've got to get him.
Yeah.
So he got caught in betwixt and between, didn't he?
Look, he's working really hard, and I don't want to be super critical of him because I've been really impressed with his work rate. That's a shocking kick, but his work rate's been terrific. But just those little things that he'll learn, and Derm, you hit it on the head. The smart tagging players will try and kick goals on you inside their own forward 50.
Well, the heat's on the Essendon defence at the moment. They tried to stand tall. This time it's Pendleby's right boot. It comes into frame and he just misses.
This is just an onslaught at the moment.
It is at the moment.
Well, when somebody as smart as Dustin Fletcher thinks, I'm just going to go for yardage here, you know they're under immense pressure.
Goddard.
Wow.
Fletcher. Bell Chambers. Ryder! Big grab on the wing. Something for the Bomber fans. There hasn't been a lot. Cue the boos. Watson to the wing.
Another tackle though by Ball just to disrupt that kick.
Collier. Well placed for Gambleton. And nothing to go to next. He does find something with a good bit of running from Goddard to get into the 50.
Collingwood supporters come to voice again, so we'll kick after the siren. A lot to look forward to in the last quarter. Are we going to see the complete consummate performance from Collingwood? And what have the Bombers got to offer? At some stage, can they get up and get a little bit of a roll on? Really looking forward to what the last quarter is going to show us.
So Brendan Goddard comes in. He's got 20 disposals, but the boys have asked plenty of questions about his performance this afternoon. There's no doubt about that, though. On the siren, he kicks Essendon's 5th goal. Just 5 goals is what Essendon got to show for themselves. And once again, Nathan Buckley would have been tuning inside, coming to the MCG today, but he would be absolutely delighted with what his boys have produced. Can they make it a 4-quarter performance? We'll find out right after this on Fox Footy.
Bounce clearance, and you can just see there the start of the year when they were absolutely flying, he was averaging 10 opportunities a game. He's missed that game in round 17, and since then he hasn't quite recaptured the form that we know he's capable of.
Thanks, Kingy. We're into the last quarter then, and the margin stands at 55. And just as Collingwood will be looking to put the foot down, it's Essendon will be also got plenty to play for in this last quarter. Dwyer.
In actual fact, Hutto, I think Essendon have got more to play for in the last quarter than Collingwood have.
Sliding in, Lynch. Beams. Ball. Out of the goal square again. This time it's Cloak coming up to meet it. Bagley versus Elliott. Hooker. Elliott still clambering for another big tackle. Carlisle, boy, there's some danger in that kick. Where it's going to land. Well done, Ryder. Equal to it, Ball, though. So they flick it around, Zaharakis. The back. Marley Williams left the footy behind. Comma went sliding in.
Hutto, I think I accidentally said Alan Turvey because I had him on my mind. Since he's been out, his role's been played, Jace, by Marley Williams, a 20-year-old player off the rookie list, who has been absolutely superb at beating a man and giving good drive. And just as I say that, Coleman gets a possession on him.
He has been good, Kingy, and has won all you and I.
O'Brien.
Yeah, it's good to hear Timmy's back in.
and Possum Eyes playing as well.
Clearing kick from Shaw, and it's over and out.
I think O'Brien's role has been really important today too. He's tended to play that more traditional role that he played under Mick, that floating wing half-back that's dropped back in defence. And we see him now off the back. It looks like they've sort of manned him up, and they did that with Goddard. He was toweling Goddard up early, but it looked like they tried to make it more of a one-on-one contest. When he's free, he's a really dangerous player, both defensively and he can run off as well.
So Marley Williams. Oh.
He wanted to honour the lead of Jamie Elliott, who'd led up really hard, but it just wasn't the right option.
Now Jeddah. He just goes straight for home. He did have Collier flying back to the square.
Yeah, Jeddah and Collier, the two half forwards that have mainly played there, have really struggled to have any impact on the game. I think that's been the difference. The other end, the half forwards of Collingwood have kicked goals but also created goals for their team.
Well, they've played more of a running half forward flankers game rather than the crumbing type player who's got the ball off the deck after, you know, the intended mark.
The Bombers trying to round them up off half back. Lynch to Swan, who continues to accumulate his 26th disposal. Again, just running in tandem, the Pies. They've been there to help out on just about every occasion. Goldsack furnishing Cloak with another opportunity.
They've got to dig in here, the Bombers. If they don't dig in, this is going to be a horrible, horrible margin because the Pies don't show any signs of easing up.
And this could be back-to-back really bad losses for Essendon. Last week they got absolutely smashed by the Hawks, and today Collingwood have 54 points, 60 points in front.
Make it 60 with Cloak's second of the afternoon. I guess the natural inclination is to think maybe the events. Oh, there's a blood rule out there right now, but maybe the events that's gone on off-field, they've taken their toll. We know how resilient they've been through the season. Impossible for us to know from the outside.
I mean, the interesting thing, we saw the human face of it with Dean Robinson during the week, didn't we? That for the first time. We saw the human face of it. And you can see Travis Cloak's, he's had this season 48 goals, 42 behinds, 18 missed shots.
That's his 50th of the year.
From that area, though.
From that area,
goals, 8 goals, 14. So 8 missed shots from that area. And these are all those segments on the ground. Corridor, 28 goals as well. I mean, you're obviously going to kick more from in there. But once you put him on a bit of an angle with that hook foot and the way and the ball drop, it gets a bit confusing. So
that's what he's done up to this game. He's kicked 2 now, so 50 goals for Travis Cloak, another milestone for him in the season. And he's been very consistent. He obviously hasn't been consistent with his accuracy, but he's had an excellent season.
I think he's been super. When I asked James Hird before the game, have they hit the wall? With all due respect, but they just looked like they'd run out of puff against Hawthorn, and they ran out of puff at the 10-12 minute mark today in the third quarter. And it is mentally part of the aspect, but physically as well, it's got to be tough for them.
Yeah, no question. Absolutely.
So Blair has won a lot of plaudits this afternoon from this commentary box for his efforts. 6 tackles, as we mentioned, already 2 goals.
This would take a miraculous kick. He looks like he's going to try and just thread the needle with a drop punt.
We'll have to move the photographer behind him. That's how much room he was going to need. Kicks from outside the line. And it does prove to be the impossible angle literally there.
He's just played a really, really important role today. 13 disposals, 2 goals, 6 tackles. Just a really effective game for a small forward.
Now Stanton blasted through the middle. Just that's more in hope than anything else.
And that's side bottom. He's read the ball absolutely beautifully off those kicks in.
It's indicative of their use going forward, though, isn't it?
Beam showing that he trusted his left foot.
They've made the substitution. Thomas is on, and Goldsack has been substituted out of the game. You want to get a few possessions here in a side playing so well, Thomas, in this last quarter.
Cloak, commanding performance in the air.
He got dragged down
over the shoulder.
The only man dirty there was Blair, who was going to run in and snap a goal off the left.
Once again, though, the pulled kick, I think Clinton just kicked the quick spinner then. It wasn't exactly meant to land there, but it meant that they had to rush forward to it, which gives Cloak a big run at it, over the shoulder there, pulled on the shoulder. That's a free kick.
Let's have a look at the accuracy this time from Travis. 2 straight becomes 3 straight. And straight through the Bombers. It's now 67 points.
See what I found really interesting in this is instead of attacking the ball with the fist, Carlisle is too worried about what his man's doing instead of reading the play. I know you need to know where your bloke is, but if he had half an eye on the footy, he could have attacked it first and thumped it. But he allowed Cloak to go past him, and then it was too late.
He lost that at the start of that contest, Jace. You're absolutely right. He should have attacked that like a forward, Carlisle. He actually in good position when that ball came in. But once you take your eye off your forward, he got lost there. And then Cloak went in front of him, and he was completely all at sea.
Still got a little bit to catch up on the 59 from Josh Kennedy.
But at the start of the year, he was reading that ball in flight and going to it. I don't know whether perhaps going to the forward line has made him change his view on the incoming ball coming towards him. Maybe some players who've got him behind him and turned him around a bit have made him drop a bit of confidence, but he's certainly second-guessing compared to what he was for the first 10 weeks.
Have never, ever played down back, Brucey, and I'll bow to your better judgment here, but I would have thought that you always need to know where the football is as a defender. Yep. You don't always need to know where your opponent is, because if you're in a good position as far as the ball coming to you is, it doesn't matter where your opponent is.
As a defender, you need to read that ball as a forward, because you need to actually see where the drop of the ball is. And that's why I like defenders that actually mark the ball, because that means you're getting two hands to the ball. You're actually outbodying your opposition forward. You need to have the mindset of a forward to be a good defender.
The great Gary Ayres used to say, once it leaves the boot tag, you don't change in course.
Exactly.
Off a few pairs of hands there. Elliott up to meet it. Scrambling for it hard. Careful work from Bagley. Now Watson.
Oh, dangerous handball.
Hibbert. Reed came from one side. Dwyer was sweating on the other, but Hooker. And this is straight back to Heath Shaw. Unfortunately, he couldn't capture it. Innovative stuff there from Hardingham. Jetta and now Goddard. And how many intercept marks is still side bottom taken?
Yeah, no, he's read the play absolutely beautifully off a half-back flank.
For Goddard, once again, for the host of players with over 20 possessions, he's got the highest kicking efficiency, so that's one out of school.
Sidebottom's taken 5 of those 20 intercept marks we saw Collingwood had totalled up. Oh, Hibbert. Got away with it, only just. Back for Carlisle. Well done, Ben Reid.
I've been watching Dane Swan do him. I've been watching really closely today. This is, in my opinion, his best game for the year. The numbers won't be as high as what he's had throughout the course of the season. Just the 28 disposals so far, which is still a big number. But 14 of those have been score involvements. He's got possessions in the forward half of the ground. He's had more than half of his disposals in the forward half, and they've all gone on the scoreboard.
6 inside 50s as well.
Also 5 clearances and 6 tackles. That'd please Nathan Buckley as well. So he's working on both aspects of the game, attack and defence.
Tried to rope him up there, did Grundy, but Bellchambers escapes, kicks to the wing. Little early nudge from Hocking, went unseen by the umpire. Well played though from Lynch. Hit back and hit back hard. Dwyer, as they sweep through the middle of the MCG again. Ball decide to change the angle up. Maybe not the greatest of calls, it appears now. Carlisle, but again, here's Thomas. Been a good little player for them. Had a long way to come into senior footy. I think 4 years at the club with a lot of injuries before he made his debut this season. Oh my goodness, an opening for Steele Sidebottom. He deserves to kick a goal after all the work he's done down back. Let the celebrations begin, Steele.
I think his opponent, and maybe fairly, because I think his opponent thought that they were going to get the ball. It was a poor kick, but I reckon his opponent almost finished on the wing here. And that's not a great kick.
Well, I also think the kick from Hibbert, he saw 2 Essendon players there and he said, I'll kick it in that direction. And it split the 2 of them.
No, you're right.
But only one person attacked the footy.
Hardingham looked like he had gumboots on running for that ball. Yeah. He was labouring.
In the Cliff Young shuffle.
Cliffy might have covered the last 5 quicker.
He's been outstanding today, Steele Sidebottom, though. He did. He attacked the ball. That's what he's been doing. He's reading the ball really well at the moment.
Out of the middle, a little toe poke goes Essendon's way. Zaharakis tries to slap it back. Delelio. There's some interesting selection decisions for Essendon too coming up, just in terms of their forward line. Obviously, I imagine they want to get Cramery back in the team.
He's back in the VFL this weekend.
But just which of their small forwards. I think Davey found some form in the VFL. But they...
Well, the evidence today suggests that Gumbleton hasn't grasped the opportunity with both hands. You'd probably like to see him get a bit of continuity in his football. It has been a tough day for forwards. But you know that Cranberry and Hurley will come back into the mix, don't you? And then you've got Danaher on the sidelines who they want to play, but again, he's still learning the craft.
Melksham to the top of the square, engaging.
Once again, what a massive fist through the ball. He's been a powerhouse, Nathan Brown.
O'Brien and side bottom. They gave it up. Goddard to Dell'Olio. Was there interference? It's a fine line. Split along partisan lines in the crowd as to whether that was a free kick or not.
Well, straight off the bench, Quentin Lynch.
He could just pop it over if he wanted to. In fact, he went for the mark, but couldn't take it.
Geez, a good spoil for him.
Yeah, it was
outside. 1-on-2, he won the day. All Ryder handcuffed, and I'm not sure how he actually got rid of that footy. Melksham back to Hardingham. Myers had a little scout around to see what was there. There was nothing, so kicks quickly and with some precision to Gumbleton, who fed off Dell'Olio. He's got the goals in sights, and that's a pretty fair connection.
Okay.
At last, a goal for the Bombers in this final term.
Well, we saw it spoiled originally in defence. Should this have been a free kick, or is it a clean spoil? That looks like he's hit the arms to me. It should have been a free kick, so probably the poetic justice that the ball has come back and resulted in a Dell'Olio goal. That was a
I'm not so sure. I reckon he punched the arm, but without a drag. He actually a straight punch onto the arm.
You're still not allowed to do that.
You know what? There's nowhere that says that you can't punch the ball if you make incidental contact. As long as you don't drag the arm away. He punched the arm in one hit.
You said there's nothing that says you can't punch the ball. He didn't punch the ball. He punched the arm.
Well, he's going for the ball. I reckon that's a fair call.
No. I'd argue that with you all day.
I'll argue back.
I know you will.
After. Can we, you blokes after the show, will you?
We'll just turn them off for a second. They can keep on going. Here's Beams. The margin 68 at the MCG. What about finals for Collingwood, Roosie? They're going to be there.
Well, they've got Sydney next week, I think. Now, they need to follow up this win, which they perfectly... If they play this way against Sydney, then people will start to take notice. So next week is an even bigger week for them in order to present their credentials as a premiership team. And I think going into the season, we thought they were a premiership contender.
I think what's exciting for Collingwood, Roosie, is they get to play Hawthorn and Sydney in the run home. They've accounted for Essendon today. If they win their last 5, they probably almost force their way into the top 4.
And the form's good.
And then they go into September.
Legitimate.
Probably the best team on form of the season going into September action. So it's a really big opportunity for them, and they've hit their straps at the right time if this is a guide to what they're going to produce.
Absolutely.
You only have to be the best team for the last 6 weeks of the season.
And they're getting healthier, but I just like their game style today. Their game style on the back of their tackling, 76 tackles to 46. That's what's underpinned this performance today. Not talent, but work rate and really everyone playing their role within the team. And that's why I think today's been a really impressive performance for Collingwood.
Big inclusion for them. He's not the best player in the world, but Lachie Keefe out there for their balance and strategically allowing them to throw Reid forward or back has been a big boon for them.
Stanton takes them to half forward again. Jetta trying to make his mark, which he does. Takes it in front of side bottom. Have to be careful not to give away 50 there. Wanted Watson to get involved, and the lead-up target is his great mate in Scotty Gumbleton.
I think the question with Keith, though, Derm, is can they afford to leave Reid forward against the better teams in the competition? You mentioned Sydney, you mentioned Hawthorn, they're playing in the run home. That's going to be the test. I think Keith's a good player, but he's coming back from a knee reco. Can they afford the luxury of leading Reid forward?
Well, they want to. They're giving him every chance to prove.
I think that's smart. I think they're trying to find that out now.
Scotty Gumbleton played Anzac Day and kicked 3, and there's his first of this afternoon. There's a couple in a row for the Bombers. The margin trimmed back to 62 points here at the MCG.
But the luxury also, it's good to see Gumbleton actually get on the board here. Good for his confidence, because he's had a tough battle today and it hasn't been a really great day for forwards.
Just further on that, when do they need to try, and obviously injuries play a part, but when do they need to settle on their lineup, particularly their forward lineup?
Minimum of
Essendon,
yeah. Well, they can't do that while they've got players injured. Until Cranberry gets back and shows form, hopefully he plays well or has played well in the VFL this weekend.
From now.
And they need to get Hurley and Cranberry back in the side and get them playing well, because I think they're probably the two key forwards that they desperately need there.
Okay, it's back to 62.
But just going back to the luxury of playing Reid forward and Keefe settling down back, it depends on how they're playing further afield.
Yeah,
so if they're playing like this, absolutely you can do it against anyone.
Their midfield pressure's been outstanding, and their forward 50 pressure's been terrific as well. So the ball hasn't been coming quickly into the forward line. It was last week against the Giants when Keefe struggled at times against Cameron. There was no pressure coming through the midfield.
Again, the Collingwood side seem to have the answers around the edges of the pack. Thomas angled it for Clark just out of his reach, as you saw, and he had nothing there to give it to. Myers begins the clean-up with Melksham. Didn't clean too much up, just created a bit more mess. Sinclair
pulled that to the spot where it's gone so much. I reckon there's a real trend crept in over the last 2 weeks of kicking the ball short into your forward line. Some teams have been going long, but over the last 2 weeks, I dare say, there have been more short entries into the forward 50 of all these aspirant top 8 teams than any other sort of block during the year.
And do you think that's just because of the numbers that other teams are getting back, or is there another
Well, the
reason?
good teams up the top love the long bomb ball in.
Exactly.
So other teams that are now working say, well, let's not give them what they want.
Zaharakis had a moment there. The first moment passed, maybe not the second. He needed help, and he got it from behind. Goddard, Comma outsized. Oh, the Pies players perhaps need to synchronise their issues a little better. Their efforts a little better. Jeddah, the standoff, the handball to Comma. Take his very best from there.
Oh, and he's tired.
I think, Hutto, you talked about the Essendon forward line. I think that the problem is not with their talls. I think the problem is, I saw them against Sydney, and their half forwards and small forwards really struggle to get up and back. Whereas you look at the good teams, they've really got midfielders playing in those roles, and I think that's...
Sydney's the prime example, aren't
exactly.
they?
You can cover... Sydney got Jude Bolton as a 300-game midfielder playing as a half forward now. Tommy Mitchell as a genuine midfield young player coming out of the junior footy as a half forward.
Gee, that was a missed opportunity by Dane Beams. He had Grundy working hard, 5 metres clear running back to goal, needed to release the kick first up.
All the work I've done with young forwards, though, what Grundy needed to do was break sideways.
Here's another off the ball.
Heath Hocking on Nick Maxwell.
There's been a lot of off-the-ball free kicks today, hasn't there?
And down it goes to full forward. Cloak, and he bullied Carlisle out of another one. Despair from Carlisle and from the Essendon fans as Travis tries to ridiculously improve his angle.
His best footy this year, when there was pressure on the ball carriers from the opposition and he was allowed to occupy rear position. He played the behind position very well because he read the ball so well in the air. He's now second-guessing and getting to the front, and Cloak's able to muscle him under it.
And he's put that right through, Travis Cloak. That's 4. He's finished with a surge in the last, Travis Cloak. 70,000 the crowd at the MCG.
Here it is, left the screen.
Yeah, I don't know if...
I'll tell you what, after it was paid, Nick Maxwell got up very quickly.
Yeah, I tell you what, I don't know. Those free kicks behind. I mean, Maxwell was running towards Hocking it. Look, if there was head-eye contact, fair enough. That's a free kick. But if a bloke runs into you, I'm not sure you can jump out the way, Durham. And there's Travis Cloak, 4 shots a goal. Beautiful from set shots. I think the thing with Carlisle, you made a good point. Early in the season, that there was enormous pressure coming through the midfield, and he was able to get some help from Hooker and Fletcher. Now, a lot of one-on-one contests which is a worry for Essendon. Their midfielders aren't working back, their halfbacks aren't dropping off, so they've got some real concerns with their work rate at the moment.
Can't help think his confidence has been damaged a bit too with all the unsettling. And some of it, sometimes it really worked well putting him forward, as we know, but look at that. Terrific dash from a big man from Keefe. Bombed away to half forward. Elliott loves to to fly. There's some early interference, though.
Going to Reed.
Going to bend the
Shep it out, I think.
Grundy's going to sneak back to the square. The kick's angling in for Elliott, who withstood a fair bit there. And Little Blair burrowing one side and the other. Pinballing around in that last line.
Oh, it's got to be careful here.
The day saved for the moment. But, Harry O.
I've not seen that before. Timmy. You've got me Timmy on the brain now, Jason. Joe Watson ran off the line of the ball there. Now, this bloke is as brave as can be. I don't know, and no one's ever going to question him on that. Maybe it wasn't worth getting that shoulder re-injured in the dying moments.
Dane Swan sends that to one of his mates in row 15.
But now watch him run off the line. See it? And perhaps he thought he went into his step early.
Only went one-handed, didn't he?
Yeah, when it required to. And no one's ever going to question him on courage or anything like that. And that's lucky because we know the track record of him.
Hooker. Oh, Luke Ball. Would just love to have this bloke in your team, wouldn't you?
Yeah. For all the frills of a Pendlebury and a Swan and even a Beams, this is your blue-collar worker that week in, week out gets the job done.
Well, he complements the others, doesn't he? Because you know he's going to be in and around the footy and constantly getting clearances on the hard ball.
It was a beautiful kick off the outside of the boot too.
He's got one over the chops there.
What about Quinton Lynch, guys?
I think he's been all right today, actually. He's been just played a role, second ruck role. What's he had, 12 possessions and a goal?
19 possessions. Yeah, 12 kicks, 7 tackles.
Yeah, 19 possessions. He's had a solid game.
Freeze for Collingwood, 17 and 9 to Essendon for the day.
It's interesting, the umpire just in there moving something out of the way, saying get up against the fence.
He's shaped that one back. Oh, massive lead. You didn't have to guess who it would be. Little pocket rocket over the top of Jamie Elliott.
He can jump, can't he?
He got the secondary lift.
Yeah, I think he's undergone hypnosis, Jamie Elliott, and he's been convinced he's a high-marking key forward. Yeah. He's taken two of the best hangers you've ever seen this year.
He has.
But you just shouldn't be able to with his stature. Pack marks.
He's had a few other auditions as well.
Yes.
You reckon he would have taken a few in junior?
Oh, that could be the ankle trick. Yeah, he came forward. He wanted the ball. He was not deliberately going into the legs of Dwyer, but the fumble cost him.
We talked earlier about the story of Dwyer. Played VFL footy all the way up to the end of last season. Had a broken leg and was playing just to make sure that people knew that he was still up for the fight of playing AFL. And he's on the biggest stages of the MCG with his Collingwood team. Been outstanding.
He's just a really clean player, isn't he? He does everything efficiently. He doesn't waste the ball. He doesn't fumble it. He's really composed.
Stanton. Ryder. Brown had the last say once again. Wilson flicked it out. Hardingham about to be tackled. Realised that. Now maybe they can come away with a little bit of liberty in the back pocket, some space to work in for Brendan Goddard. His 27th disposal for Bell Chambers. And now Watson again, possession 31 coming up for Joe.
Assistance from his head.
Delolio, still some indecision. And there's Myers, who's quite capable of kicking this far. He's had 24 disposals now.
Just having a look through the stats, Kingy. Zaharakis, who you pointed out, has had come away from the game a little bit. His effectiveness on the game and his inability to go into the midfield stoppages since he missed that game. Laid no tackles today.
Yeah, he's been well down, there's no doubt about that. And he's a key playmaker for them. When we talk about side, bottom and beams and these players for Collingwood, he is that to Essendon. He's that next rung down from the absolute stars. But his big games are huge and they need him to get back to that form pretty quickly.
So it's a live ladder, Hunter. We haven't talked about percentage. Here we go.
Get back to it in a moment because, that was nearly a goal. So they've really come off a fair way, their percentage, Essendon, haven't they? Collingwood are now...
Well, it puts them in the mix, doesn't it? It puts them in the mix for top four.
Yep, it's a big win and a big percentage booster for them. And obviously, as you mentioned, Hunter, Essendon suffer their percentage as well. So it's starting to even up in that area.
Richmond's big win on the weekend as well, of course. O'Brien, Dwyer. And here's Zaharakis. Tries to get some acceleration. Heath Shaw, Ryder. Just couldn't find anybody on the outside. Marley Williams. Try and gang up and run from half back. And they'll do that quite comfortably. Skipping through the middle. Sinclair.
They've got separation forward now.
Thomas and Cloak wants another.
That was a really good kick from Thomas. All he did was wait because he could see Carlisle and Cloak jostling for position. Cloak was behind. He was going to lead back. And then all he did was wait with the ball because he knew at some stage Cloak had come back at him. And he did, and he just chipped it into space. Really good decision making from Josh Thomas.
So it's on the boot of Travis Cloak here for his 5th of the afternoon. It's been a mighty performance by the Magpies. And Travis Cloak has really cashed in this last quarter. He's now got 5 goals. And that's 19 for the day for the Pies. And I think, Brucey, what Nathan Buckley would be more delighted with is that Essendon have only kicked 53 points for the day.
It's been a comprehensive display. I love the way they've tackled. Their defensive stuff's been through. Look, Carlisle, I mean, inside 50, there's no help whatsoever. Jace, I reckon his kicking just looks so much more efficient today, Cloak. I don't know, must have obviously worked on it. But he just looks so much more compact and efficient when he kicks for goal.
It's a confidence thing. You drop 1 or 2 right and you feel good. There's their next month, Collingwood. So they've got Sydney and Hawthorn, West Coast over here, and then North Melbourne to finish with. So no regulation games, but very capable in this form of winning the last 4.
If they play like this, and as I said, next week's a massive test for them against the reigning premiers. So if they play like this next week, they're a genuine chance to beat Swans. Although if Swans play as well as they can, it'll be an absolute cracking game of footy,
So we're down to the last minute. Hibbert. Bellchambers. And the ball won't straight.
I guess the worry, the other side of it is we talked about Collingwood and how good they've been, but there's Hurdy on. There's their next 4, West Coast, North, Carlton and Richmond. I mean, in good form, they're all winnable as well, but the problem for the Bombers, Hutto, is they've just dramatically dropped out of their form in the last couple of weeks.
Dwyer again. Williams trying to rev things up from defence in this last 20 seconds. There might be time for one more. Certainly the way that Collingwood are moving the ball. A fresh Josh Thomas down to Reid. Did he throw off Fletcher? No, that's okay. Ticked off by the umpire.
Well, maybe a couple of weeks ago would have been ticked off.
It's been a while since I've seen Dustin Fletcher beaten in so many contests. I mean, it's been a tough old day for Essendon defenders, given the amount of dominance that the Collingwood midfield and all players further afield have had, but it's been tough.
Siren sounds at the MCG. The footy in Ben Reid's hand. He's kicked 2 goals, 3. It's a question at the final margin here. Will it be 79 or 74? One more for the road for the Pies. A powerful reminder of just how good Collingwood's best is. And this afternoon it was way too good for Essendon. And they sing out around the MCG this famous song. So they've run over the top of them here. What a complete domination, just about from start to finish. And they've won by 79 points, Kingy.
They have won by 79